Hey, this is Obscura Undead Subculture Shock. This week we're talking about the fetish scene inside the goth scene, not to be confused with the fetish scene or the goth scene, because we know they're separate. I mean, we know they're separate. And now, so does anyone who's watching this. And tonight, and tonight we have with us as a special guest Caroline Carniverous of Caroline's Sometimes blog fame. She is a, oh, is your pronoun she? Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. We try to ask every time. She is a fetish performer at Wave Gotik Trefen and has participated in several other events. The rest of us have at least seen and voyeured some events inside of Goth, and I've seen Pagan and Regular Dungeon. And we have our generally regular weekly stuff. You never know when it'll change. Of DJ Azzy here on the left with the long and skinny picture, and DJ Malik on the bottom right. And I need to set myself, make sure. Oh, I'm in the middle, just like Alice. I'm like the old. Oh God, I am an old maid. She was an old maid. I am. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. So let me pop out the chat so I can monitor all the things at one time. I finally got it to do live chat because we already have a. What the fuck just happened? Oh, okay. I've layered windows. I'm trying to keep y'all so we don't have to see all the little control panel I've got. Although we have two of me. Let me move this one of me in the middle with under the other one of me. Okay. So now I can see the chat and everybody's except Azzy because I covered you up. Oh, noise. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So we have a few people. We have Brandon and Anathar, and Junkyard Bat, Mora, Medicynth. Sorry, there's a learn more thing in the middle of my frickin' chat. Nagaroth, Witch, and oh, Caroline Crew. There you go. So we know everybody. Excuse me while I haven't even opened up my evening's beverage, which is cranberry white claw with a little bit of tangerine juice and orange vodka. Well, I didn't have a lot of time. That is a lot of vodka. Okay, so we're, yeah, just wait till the end of this and I won't know my name. It's fine. It's totally cool. It's totally cool. It's totally cool. So for Caroline, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock. 2 a.m. But because of certain pandemics that shall go unnamed, COVID-19, we all have fucked up sleep patterns. So I think some of us have to work in the morning and we don't probably go to sleep before midnight at the earliest. And yeah, so that's, we got lucky. We got lucky. So we thought we'd take advantage of it now. So has everybody actually gone to a goth fetish anything? A goth night with a fetish event in it? I have, but it was a weird pagan goth thing. I'm sorry, can you say that again? Clown porn. Okay. I did you? Oh, hey, I forgot to ask. Do we have anybody else showing up tonight? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Everybody needs a night off. Okay, so what has we know that I put it in the text and all sorts of stuff, Caroline, and I put a link to your blog. I hope that's okay. You don't really hide very much, so I figured it was okay. But we know that you have performed several years at Vegete as a dancer. As It's fun to watch you get your costume together. Right. Well, there's something. I mean, gold dust or whatever. So, right, body paint. So, what else have you attended or participated or performed in? Right, right. Well, they have all that stuff there anyway. Yeah, okay. Sounds fun. Woohoo! Hang on. God. Okay, y'all, talk again. Well, I have to call you back? Did, did they say I have to call them back? Oh, for fuck's sake. Hang on. As he dropped off, I can see your vocals coming through my OBS, but they can't hear them on YouTube for no good reason. And I have to call Azzy back because Azzy probably was on the phone. Whoops. Oh, add to call. It's a group member not on the call. Okay, so that was right in the middle of the screen, so you're welcome to everybody who can see some of my people. And we will wait for them to log in. Oh, good. That everything came back right. So Caroline is sideways like should be. Okay, let me get the chat up. Okay, everybody, it appears as if my sound is working. They can't, everyone else has sound. Who didn't have sound? A cemetery. Wait a minute. Maura said everyone has sound but really low. Okay. Okay, that should fix it. So y'all talk and be interesting. Okay, the little Skype window put... I know, everybody's interesting until we're trying to work on sound. Okay, get off the screen. All right. Okay, how is our... Oh, that's right. Oh, hey, Malik, this is Caroline. Oh, that was nice. Okay, can you hear everybody now? Is everybody less quiet? All y'all talk. Oh, okay. Give me a sec. I'm gonna kill my display capture and bring it back. Let's see if that brings back the sound. Remove. Okay. I have literally done nothing to this configuration this time, y'all. Nothing at all. Nothing. Not a bupkis. Okay. Desktop audio still shows. Let me get everything back. All right, Azzy, you can't hear anyone else? Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, we have one person who can hear us. What the hell? Okay. Let's see. What could this possibly be? I've got video capture device. I've got my mic auxiliary is, well, I don't have one. I have audio input, video capture device, and audio input capture. So I can see my video capture device also. Everything has a microphone in this place. And everything is showing up. Mine comes up and just below the red. And when you guys talk, I had to turn it up to get you into the red. So let's hit a properties, you stupid ass thing. Okay, device is default. Okay. All right, everybody talk. Let's see if I got it. It went to default. Is it better? Is it better? Did we get it? Okay, y'all, There we go. Okay, we're gonna use me on. Now my video capture's not working. It's yeah, I can't get it to show any. Whoops. Your hair is almost completely inside the frame. Okay, every time I touch anything, I lose the chat. So we have. Okay, we still have no sound. We still have no sound. I can't explain the no sound because it's coming straight through the desktop, y'all. All right, the picture. I think I'm going to have to. Okay, we're going to kill the Skype call and call it back and see if it picks up the audio. All right, bye. Okay, y'all, let's see if I can get this. Oh, whoops, I got to open the Skype. Yeah, this is, I didn't update anything either. I'm very careful about not doing anything. Okay, let me call everybody back. Bring the group. It's calling. Whoops. All right, there should be much shuffling. Yeah, you're back fast. Yours connected really fast. I, however, have internet from a company that's just filed for bankruptcy. Oh, somebody said the problem is the Skype trash. I don't doubt it, but Skype is what I can use with most people. It has slightly better video than, what is it, Facebook? Facebook, if I use Facebook, it destroys the whole configuration, even though I use all different devices. Okay, can everybody be heard? Oh, y'all have to talk. Nobody's typing now. Right, but I can, the little Skype, the extra Skype window keeps opening up, and whoever's on the top right, it opens up with their face. So that's interesting. I don't have Zoom, so doesn't Zoom not fixed? God damn it. Okay, so I haven't done any, I just redid my settings. I've got you guys turned all the way up. Oh, for fuck's sake. This guy. Yeah. You guys are... Okay, I'm probably going to go deaf, so it's cool. Somebody besides me has to talk again. Jesus. Oh my god, I gotta put these headphones on the table. I can listen from there. Alright, we're experiencing some... Yeah, this makes 0 sense. It's... Oops. It's not you, it's me. It's absolutely me. Okay, so somebody in the list, can anyone hear? Oh god, y'all, they have a big delay, so we're waiting for them, and there's delays all over. God, I hope so, y'all. It's a tiny bit better, but the volume difference is still large. Okay, so let me turn me down. I don't know, I'm trying to get to it. The fuck is this? Oh. La 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 la. Where's the general? Okay, let apps use. Did that say advertising? Oh, fuck you. Okay, let's go back to the. I don't know what. Oh, okay. Audio and video. Microphone.
Like where it says speakers, like can you turn that up?
No, it's on 10. And I made it pluggable audio, which is my headphones. For some reason, it doesn't pick up. Let's see if default communications device. Okay, y'all, start talking. Let's see what. Oh my god, that's so big.
Yeah. Oh no, not that, Michelle.
What?
Never mind. We'll figure it out. We would not figure this shit out.
Yeah, this is way fucked up. Unmute for incoming calls. Okay, there we go. Ring on an additional device. Blur my background. There's very little to it on this thing. Okay, so my microphone is on my webcam. Ain't that interesting? Automatically adjust microphone settings. Okay. You can hear poquito. Poqueno. Okay, so nobody can hear us. You have to turn it way up. I've had videos with this happen before. I'm going to kill the stream and start it again. We're going to... Okay, I'm killing the stream. So sorry.
This is not fair. I don't like to be teased.
I mean, we are talking about fetish. Right. Well, y'all, we know something. I know something's wrong because I can resize my own video picture, but I can't actually, it's not showing. It's underneath, and for fuck's sake. Can I bring forward order? Move up, asshole. There we go. Now there's two of me. Oops. Y'all, seriously, there we go. It was stuck. Okay, so y'all can see the tiny picture of me in the middle, like is Alice in the middle. We can see two Azzies. Is anyone saying they can hear us yet? Oh, that is fucked up. Okay, hang on. Let's. Whoops. All right. Come on. How do I separate these? Because I have to have Skype needs to be as loud as possible. I would like. Okay. All right. Is that? I think that I have both speakers and headphones on. How do I get back? How the fuck do I get back out of this shit?
Kelly says I would try to stop volume and OBS.
It is all the way up for the desktop audio. Okay, the pluggable audio. Oh, okay. Okay, Skype is now absolutely all the way up. The speakers are all the way up. OBS. Okay, yep, I had a separate OBS. Talk.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it? 4 minutes until YouTube gets it? All right. Let me see. There we go. Okay, I just had to get him my headphones a little off my ears. You should have. Well, I've turned up the OBS. Okay, so y'all can see. If anybody's dealt with this, these guys are all the way up. Fuck it. I mean, we're not in Chrome. Chrome is how I've got the live stream. So now I've got a lag in the Yammerdoodle. What do you call that thing? Oh, and it's fucking Top Chat. Oh, I hate Top Chat. Okay. Oh, it's the same. Top Chat and Live Chat. Well, because if you leave it in Top Chat, you don't get all the stuff. And so you don't have it as it's coming through. So now we're just waiting for the ridiculous lag time of catch up for fucking YouTube.
Yeah. Still nothing. No, I think it's caught up. I think they just still can't hear us.
They what?
I said I think it's caught up. I think that they just can't hear it still.
Okay. Yeah, I had to. You guys are so loud, the sound is distorted when that's right next to my ears. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts.
Checker, can you hear us?
Okay. Hi, hey, Shaker. Nobody can hear anyone but my ass. And we've already stopped and restarted the stream. Oh, that's what the problem was. Everybody had to connect.
Did we stop and start?
Well, let's check YouTube and make sure that YouTube isn't being a big fat liar. No, I've still got an end stream button. It still says live 21 minutes. There's 23 people on, hoping that they could hear something. I know. It's horrible. Okay, but we've got the internet is broken. Oh, the internet is broken. It's so broken. Okay, I
might be able to just run it through mine.
Oh, that is such crap.
I don't want to, but we could.
Well, I mean, it's not crap that you do that. It's crap that my shit doesn't work all the time. Okay, so we are back in streaming. One hopes that we are. Let me get a little. Whoops, that's the Skype.
Someone says they can hear me. Oh, they said sound.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Is it loud
Yeah,
enough
how-
that I can turn my ears down? I'm turning my ears down, y'all, because this is bullshit. It's intensely painful. Okay, just a little bit. Let's see if I can have my, because those feel like they're gonna
Yay!
fall off. Okay,
Everyone rejoices.
Holy shit, that was.
We did it. The usual.
Okay, everyone can hear everyone.
Okay,
Awesome.
Good. All right, so let's get on with it because I didn't have the connection issues I usually have, so it had to come from somewhere because apparently my live streams are cursed. Okay, so we are talking about fetish within the goth scene, not to be confused with the fetish and or BDSM scene, and not to be confused with the goth scene itself, but this is stuff that's done inside the goth scene because we know that there are, well, everybody else thinks that we are the fetish scene, but if you go to something that is, I say fetish, I mean BDSM, dungeons, all that kind of stuff. I'm just lumping it all together, even though a lot of it's really different, y'all, and all of us are aware of that. But a lot of times when you go to those functions, you hear a lot of metal music or you hear music to whip ass by, which is kind of hypnotic, electronic a lot of times. So at goth scenes, it's different because usually you're, in goth stuff. And Caroline was just telling us about her experience with Vegete when everyone is like, we can't hear you because fucking OBS betrayed me this time. Excuse me while I drink.
Right, should I go into all of that again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
nobody heard you.
I'm a go-go dancer, I guess you call it, at the Vegete Wave Gotik Trefen fetish party called Obsession Bizarre. It's like an official event only for those who have a Vegete ticket. And I've been doing that for 6-7 years. Not sure. But they play both industrial and goth music there. They had like 2 rooms. And I kind of want to describe it more as a fetish-themed party. Because it's not like a hardcore regular fetish party. It's more of a party with a fetish theme. Like you have the rooms where stuff goes on. Some people may do stuff like out in the open. There's like bondage shows. There's like latex fashion shows, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I have experience with the most. I've also been to a fetish party in Sweden. That was more of a regular one, but I guess it was kind of alternative, not exactly goth. I've been to private ones, and I've also been to one local to me, which I thought was terrible, because it was just open for everyone. Like, you could get in for like $5.
Wait, there was no membership or anything like that?
No, it was supposed to be kind of a showcase night, I think. Because I think a local fetish community was hosting it, but I think they wanted to get new members, stuff like that.
So was that lighter, I guess? I would guess lighter, not into like, well, someone getting a corset piercing set or something like that.
No, not really. There were 3 floors, and they kind of wanted to make like, okay, the first floor was white, and then the next was black, and the next was red. So it was kind of like, at the bottom, it was just kind of a regular party.
Right.
At the second floor, you could write on the wall what your fetish was, and people were just writing pussy.
Pussy.
Clever.
That's great.
And the top floor,
fetish party to just write pussy.
Yeah. And the top floor was where, people were supposed to play and stuff like that. And it was so awkward because there were only a few people who actually did. And everyone gathered around thinking it was a show. Yep. So it was super awkward. And, there were guys in, white polo shirts and stuff like that. So that was awful.
Oh, that's kind of like a regular dungeon, except they're usually, well, in the U.S., they try to make everything about it illegal because people are scared to death and won't have a good time in a way they can't monitor. But they're usually members only. So even if somebody comes in their white shirt sleeves, they probably have somewhat of a clue before they get there. So it doesn't have that. I've never seen someone in a dungeon situation ask somebody else what their fetish was and it be pussy. Yeah, I got nothing there. We'll write that on the wall. 13-year-old.
Yeah.
They were for sure vanilla people, so that's why they got so creative.
Yeah, so there were a lot of people who had never experienced this stuff before there. Like, whereas at the Vegeta fetish party and other fetish parties, there are usually security and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, there was no security at the one that you went to that was just... They had no security. They didn't have people walking around?
I think they just had the regular, bar staff people.
Oh, I would not go to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to check it out because it seemed to be a huge fetish party in my city, and I was like, what is this?
You're like, I'm going, man. And then you get like, oh, pussy.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow. That happens, though, I think, at a lot of goth events. They wind up getting mixed up together with fetish. And then if people just come to that because they're touristing, because they're looking for big titty goth girls, then they walk into a fetish party and they just think it's all one thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of goths will wear clothing from, let's say, fetish stores. But, back 1,000 years ago, we also wore stuff from pet stores. So, and just cut up lingerie and shit like that. So, I mean, it's just kind of a misnomer. So, what were the other things you'd gone to that were more goth themed? You said you'd been to a private party. Was that, well, that seems like that'd be a lot more comfortable.
Oh, Skullgirl, they're saying you're too loud now. That we're too loud, you're too quiet.
No, we are too loud. That's what they're saying. We are too loud
everyone
and
else
she's
is
too loud. That's what they're saying.
Turn your volume down, people.
I'm working on it, but I lost the chat again because I touched something. I'm happy to turn this shit down because this is not even on my ears. It's just poking at my... Okay. Somebody beside me
Poking
talk.
at your...
Is that better?
Hello.
What is it poking at, Michelle?
What? My spirals? It's poking at my earrings.
Never mind.
Oh, I'm in technical anger mode. Is that better? The best fetish. What, pussy? My fetish equals roll initiative. Oh, somebody said put my name. Could you please turn up your volume? Can do. Okay, so my volume, I turned mine way down. Okay, so we should be more even because I'm just in the yellow region. I lost my live chat. Okay. A good poking. Oh, it depends on the poking. I mean, there's really no difference in technique whether you're at a goth place or not. All it is really going to be like music and goth people. that's the only difference, because it's one of those things. If I see a goth night and too much of it's like constantly dress up or constantly, especially if it's always like fetish and it's mixed up, I'm not going to go to that. I would once in a while, maybe. I don't know, but I'm not going to go to it if it's always mixed up, because then I'm like, somebody's not figuring something out. Somebody doesn't understand one of these two things. Well, see, I moved my headphones so much that my hair fell. Okay, well, just...
You ever been to a goth fashion show and it's just a fetish fashion show, but they're just calling it goth? It's kind of like, why don't you just call it fetish, because that'll sell better?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. Excuse me, I'm going to use my camera. Oh, that even worse. You know, I tease my hair 3 times. Okay, y'all don't have to watch me do my hair. You can talk without me.
Oh, sorry. Mouse says, can we have a goth poke place? I assume she means poke.
Oh, because they
because Mouse always talks about food.
Cemetery Confession said, I love poking.
But that's pegging, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right,
I think that's what they are referring to, but I didn't want to say anything.
But Mouse popped in and said, can we have a goth poke place? But I'm pretty sure she means
Oh, like
poke.
a poke
I think
bowl?
it's food with Mouse. Yeah, because everything is food with Mouse.
That's true. That's true. Goth poke place is my ass. Oh, okay. Somebody already got that.
Yeah, I got it.
That's good to know. Cemetery Confessions. That's way hey, blow the man down. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So it just depends on what the theme is, because sometimes if you go to a goth night and they just have a St. Andrews off in the corner, and then they'll just like take horsetails or some kind of really light flogger, you know, the kind of thing that just kind of makes your skin refresh so that your skin cells turn over, you know, like they do in a spa. And then other times you go in, if you go into a dungeon, somebody is strung up like they're on a cross and being whipped with a horsewhip. So they lost an opportunity, Caroline, in that one with the 3 stories. They should have had the demonstrations on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
The easy live demonstrations, and then you can go upstairs, and that's the naked zone. Well, in the U.S., you have to have a naked zone. We have to differentiate.
So it's like
Right.
nothing, watch it, try it.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Talk to people so you're less scared. Watch it, try it. Or just keep watching people because you're a fucking voyeur. And that's totally fine. That's great. Okay, so now everybody, fetish night will be called poke, and we will cost you.
They're on ass and fish right now.
They're on ass and fish.
Yeah.
How about fish in your ass? Okay, so Malik,
That's animal
have
abuse.
you gone to a goth night
Yeah.
with fetish at it? That was
Yes.
I call it fetish just because it's easier to say, but you know, like BDSM or fetish or whatever. Live
Yes,
sex show?
in Puerto Rico, we had well, in the beginning we had the organizers put out an event where it was only goth oriented, but then I guess they decided for one of their anniversaries to do a goth and fetish. So they will have like people in bondage and flogging, and you know, even people hanging themselves and stuff like that.
Like with hooks? With hooks or in cuffs?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
both.
and they will sell merchandise and stuff like that. So yeah, been to a couple, but
Right.
yeah, in here I haven't been to any. I mean, we have vendors that they sell BDSM stuff,
Right.
but other than that, I haven't been to a mix, because that might happen somewhere else and not here in Orlando.
Okay. Okay. Well, there are frequently people selling I call them tools, items, just things or whatever.
Accoutrement.
Accoutrement. Thank you so much. But there is always, at one of our clubs, the church, there is always somebody wearing leather panties, electrical tape on the boobies, and a collar and a leash, and somebody else dragging them along, and the person dragging them could look any way. They could match sometimes. They could be wearing a ball gown. It could go any way. Every single goth night that I was ever at that place, and that was like 20 of them, there was always somebody with electrical tape nipples and leather pants. And usually, sometimes with a gag, sometimes wearing a ball gag, but with a collar being led by a leash. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So when you see fashion shows, yeah, a large part of the fashion shows that I see photos of are fetish wear, or something that you would get at like Leather by Boots or something like that. A lot of collars. Because that's where the collars first came from. Y'all making me hungry. What the fuck, man? There was a goth industrial club in Atlanta that closed in around 2006, but stopped the music every hour for fetish scenes. Oh, yeah.
Why stop the music?
Because they want it to be they're making a stage show out of this. And I'm like, have a side room, man. Then the weirdos that want to dance can dance like weirdos, and the weirdos that want to voyeur or smack someone around can go and meet and beat or whatever.
Or have however many songs you want, like pre-selected, and play those specifically during that time.
Right.
I don't like it when they stop the music. It's really, really annoying. There was going to be, I think, a fetish show, I think, in St. Pete in the Bay Area here. And I think that was their plan, too, is to stop the DJs and have the performances, which that's never a good idea.
Well, I think Panopticon doesn't, but the Nines and the church both have more than one room. So the goth night at the Nines is actually in one room, but they could pull it off. They have an upstairs balcony, like an outdoor balcony they play totally different music at. So they could pull off putting it in a different place, but they don't have fetish there. They generally have burlesque shows, goth or not. But the church has a completely separate dance floor that used to be industrial, so they totally have a room for it. But it's been a long time since I've gone to something there, and I don't remember. It was a separate night. It was just a separate night. It was a totally different thing. It's like all the festivities happen, and then they play all the music and everybody dances, which also makes sense. You just leave the St. Andrews in the corner and make sure that the floggers are super light and let people go crazy. If you make it light enough, they can't hurt. Go ahead, Abs.
I always see, like, I occasionally, whenever I go to the castle, see people being, like, flogged against a cross they have, and I always wonder, are they just there to do specifically that, or is this, like, some event I wasn't aware of? Because I should be aware of something like that. Or is it just random people showing up to do this? And they have, like, a cage out on the patio that people like to, like, get in and get their photo taken in, and it's like, oh, you guys are so cute.
On St. Andrews?
At the castle.
Do they have a
Andrews.
That's the cross that goes like that. That's a St. Andrews.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get on there for a photo op.
Yeah, but that's in the dungeon last I recall, but then they remodeled it. Now I don't know where shit is anymore. Maybe it's in the ballroom. Oh, Ian says they just do randomly. Thank you, Ian, because I've always wondered about that.
They just do random what? With the St. Andrews?
Randomly, like, show up to flog each other on I guess the St. Andrews cross.
Well, so, if someone's an exhibitionist, those are, I assume, the people in the leather panties and just enough to be legal in Texas. So,
Ian says most are wannabe doms. Oh, right. There's so many of those.
Oh, I call them little dom boys. Well, I could call them little, yeah. It's a specific experience where they walk by, the chest is puffed up, they're wearing their requisite leather vest, looking at you like this as they walk by, and you're just like, keep moving. Really cute. A lot of people.
Oh, and then Steve said it is just random. I've asked. I'm glad someone's asked, because I don't have the courage to ask them.
Well, I just be like, is that supposed to be like where people take photos so that when you say, I was at the castle, it should have a little frame that says the castle? The castle! Do they get to be naked on there?
No.
Well, I assume you have laws like we do because, we're Texas and Florida are like best friends.
I mean, I've seen people's parts because they get drunk and flash them around, but you know.
I did see that cross. Is that that's the big room upstairs?
It's in the ballroom.
I called it the cyber room when we walked in. I was like, oh, okay, well I can dance to this. I don't care.
Yeah.
That was the night I could not get drunk no matter how much I drank.
Oh, that's so sad.
I spent $22 on an absinthe, and I was like, this is not even an expensive absinthe. This is your best? I can't believe I spent that anyway. So, but yeah, so I'm one of those people that with a goth club, I am scared away by fetish stuff because I feel like they're just trying to get people in to go, ooh, looky, boobies, ooh, booty, ooh. I want to hump that.
I felt that way about fashion shows before.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, were we audible when I made that comment?
It's been a long night already.
The comment that sometimes you see a goth fashion show, but then you show up and it's just a fetish show, and you wonder why they didn't sell it as fetish instead, because more people would have come.
Oh,
yeah.
Goth and Alcove did not show me the St. Andrews. I probably would have been like, oh, that's cute. I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, unless it's got like clips and stuff for you to put your cuffs on, because I mean, would you really want to use public cuffs?
Ew.
I mean, especially now. What?
That's how you get ringworm.
Oh, gross, man. Well, now it's how you get the COVID. It's just gross. It's just gross. If you're gonna play in a public area, you can bring just a modicum of equipment just to not be disgusting. So, go ahead.
I want to know from Caroline what her grossest experience has been.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I don't think I've had like one that's been like super gross.
Really?
I think it's actually been relatively good.
I'm actually surprised because having met you in person, you are a very small statured person. And I would think that some people would think that meant they could take whatever advantage they wanted to, because while we all know little people are very scrappy, some people would see small and think weak.
Yeah. I do attract people who are into little girls.
I assume.
So that's fun. It's always kind of creepy because even though they know that I'm a grown-ass woman, I kind of look like a 12-year-old. So I'm a little bit like, okay, are you just into this because I look like a child or what?
Has anyone ever actually told you they were into it because you look like a child?
I don't think anyone has outright told me like that. There was once this guy who indicated that he actually did like basically children. And that was when I was like, okay, no.
Gotta get out.
We're not doing this. No.
Okay, that's disgusting.
I know. I was like, because you know that you're going to attract the people who are like barely legal, the ones who like the barely legal. I assume that they're like, oh, hey. I mean, you're very friendly, so I would think also there's people like, oh, she's friendly, yay. But yeah, for me, it was just, being fleshy. People be like, look at all that square footage. What horrors can I do to that? And I'm like, none, motherfucker.
Mostly people at fetish parties are really nice. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had a lot of people who come up and like, hey, wanna fuck? And I said, thank you, but no. And they said, okay. And that was that. Like, that's really nice.
Yeah. And that's how it should be. I think that's how it should be. Like,
that's kind of almost the code.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Usually when I've gone to stuff, but it doesn't happen so much at goth clubs because you do have so many people from all over the place. It's not as controlled. When you have fetish stuff, Vegate, it's controlled. I mean, I wasn't willing to bring clothing to make it so I could get in at all. But because you got to look good there too, right? You got to look good and wait. And me and waiting, I hate standing in line. But it's just, God, I totally forgot what I was saying. I'm sure it wasn't very important. La 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 la. I forgot. Okay, and somebody else say something interesting. I won't. I'll just drink my orange vodka.
I can tell my story of the last real fetish event I went to. That
Was it clowns?
Yeah, it's the one with the clown porn.
I would like to hear the clown porn. I feel like you have told me, but
Yes, I need to hear this.
I think I have told you this one. So when I was living in Hawaii, a friend of mine was having a fetish party, like a fetish/goth party in this strip club, because they would allow nudity in there. So that's why he wanted to have it in the strip club. And I walk into this place, and there is like the most hardcore porn playing on these televisions on the back wall, and they're like the size of the TVs you see at a sports bar, like they're massive. And you walk in, and that's the first thing you see. And I was thinking, huh, okay. And then eventually I look up at it again, and it is just like hardcore clown porn, silly string everywhere, ass fucking. And I was so confused and scared and watching this, like, why is there so much silly string? Why are they dressed like clowns?
I'm like, it's the silly string. All the other stuff you said, I was like, yeah, in dungeons, a lot of times, yes, there will be all sorts of different porn.
That was
but
fine.
The silly string.
It was the clowns and the silly string. And I asked my friend about it later. I said, why did you pick that? Is this just what you have in your hard drive at home? And he said, no, I went to the porn store and bought everything in the discount bin. And I'm like, why would you buy discount porn to play at your event?
Because then you get shit like that. That's hilarious. That's like when you're watching something and have you ever been into those little, like we have Paradise Adult Bookstore. It was like a rite of passage in the 80s when I was a kid. So we go to Paradise Adult Bookstore. You get a bunch of quarters, and then you go into the little booth to watch the porn in there, which you shouldn't. I mean, you should disinfect the fucking place before you do that because, ew. Anyway, if you watch some of the stuff in there, that is some low-quality shit. Low-quality stuff. Especially if you watch, like, BDSM porn. Most of it is not very good. Yeah. Most.
You have to watch Kink University then.
You got to find the good stuff. I've seen some good stuff. It's like a lot of stuff. You got to get to the magazines. You got to go to the weird section and then just sift through it until you find what you want. It's worth it. It's worth it. But with porn, yeah, there's a lot of really shitty fake BDSM porn. Don't shame Pennsylvania.
One of the that was weird. One of the sorry, I just read Ian's comment, but I'll say that for later. There's a bunch in there that needs to be read, but I wanted no wait. I will tell the story later. I really want to get to this chat.
Right. Yeah, the silly string freaks me out a little bit. Just thinking about the silly string is freaking my shit right out. Don't shame Pennsylvania. We have a few friends that make clown porn. That's disgusting. There was this one time when a crackhead sold us a stack for $12. It's when you make your first forays into watching pornography, it's garbage, and nobody ever shows you anything decent. I got lucky. Some of the first, we'll call it porn. It's not. Russ Meyer's, Super Vixen. I don't think it's pornography. I think it's just got a lot of boobs.
We started putting porn DVDs on cars like parking tickets.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Yeah, you know what? That would fuck somebody up. There's actually, what were you saying, Malik, about Porn University? What was the thing?
Oh, Kink University.
Oh, Kink University.
That's porn.
I assume.
It's a BDSM. It's a BDSM. Basically, porn. BDSM porn.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to.
It's way better than the average.
Kink University.
Way
Excuse
better.
Me.
Notes.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Well, I have to.
Ian's just referenced Edward Penis Hands. Which, if you haven't seen it, he's right. It's a true classic. It's awful.
I saw it. Oh, gosh.
behind the green door. So do they
I don't remember. There was this Facebook group, and somebody seriously asked after porn featuring goths, and that one was suggested a lot.
Is there goth porn? What is that? Everybody sits around listening to sad stuff, crying and comforting each other while writing shit poetry? Maybe learn how to play, I don't know.
Is that what ASMR for goth says? It's just the sound of people weeping?
I think actually ASMR for goths would be anxiety screeching. I know it sounds like a monkey, I'm sorry. I had an idea once. I was going to do an ASMR back before I gave up on microphones because I just keep not getting what I want. And I was just going to sit there and do stream of consciousness like your anxiety talking to you for 10 minutes, kind of quietly.
Be right back.
I thought that we'll miss you terribly. I thought that would be more like goth ASMR than anything else I can think of. Not that we all have anxiety. We just admit it. People think goths have more mental health issues. We don't. We just admit it. We talk about it.
Exactly.
That's the exact difference. Okay, so when you go to the goth events of that have fetish stuff involved, do they ever say kink, or do they always say fetish, or do they say BDSM? Because I always see them with fetish, like the fetish ball and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I see how people dress for the fetish ball, it's like, oh, I never would have thought of that. Oh, look at that, leather panties and electrical tape nipples with a collar. Who would have thunk it?
I've only seen kink used when I was in Honolulu. In other places, it's just fetish or bondage.
Well, when it's kink, it's usually just plain old kink. It's not vanilla. What do you call it? Like hipster? What do you call people who we don't expect to be at our shows? We always call them hipsters no matter what they are. And that's not true because hipsters have moved on to some kind of music none of us have ever heard already. But like that kind of stuff, that's where kink comes in. I don't ever see it called, with goth, I almost always see it called fetish. And I think there's something more romantic about the word fetish than kink or BDSM. I mean, all of those things can be romantic if you make them romantic. But there's just something about that word, I think it sounds more romantic to us. And we generally like
maybe it's that
stuff.
Kink is used too much in like Good Housewife and Vogue and shit.
Kink is where people just come in and they want to beat the shit out of someone until they bleed because they have no fucking idea what's happening. And then they're like, ew, kinky. It's like, ew, kinky when you're wearing rainbow underwear. You know what I mean?
Cemetery Confessions asked, did anyone catch Parma's Rage Club live stream? There were some great performances between DJ sets.
No.
I caught a bunch of the DJ stuff. Every time I popped in and out, I didn't get to see any of the performances, and I was kind of bummed about that because I just kept popping in during the DJ sets.
Oh. No, I didn't see that one at all. Well, we knew Parma. Parma, the big, huge mohawk, for anyone who doesn't know who Parma Ham is. A very interesting person. They did some like little story about him on some BBC TV or some crap. A lot of Flesh. Flesh Gordon is a classic. Yes, Flesh Gordon is a classic. That is true. I don't watch a lot of porn, especially on my computer, because I'm afraid of viruses. I'm like on my phone trying to watch stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is not worth it. Too many ads. Woo made it. Hello, Juliet.
I should check the chat.
I'll send you a link later.
Fetish, yeah, most
where
people
you can watch it.
Most people do see it as fetish. So, okay. So, actually, Caroline, once people have seen you perform at Vegeté, do they ever come up to you afterwards, other than to say you did a great job or anything like that? Do they ever like, hey, anything like that? Well, some people can't keep their shit
no,
together.
it's usually just that they recognized me and thought I was really great and they had a fun time. So it's really nice. Of course, it's a little bit like, oh God, you recognize me.
How do you know who I am? I'm wearing clothes, and I was wearing gold dust.
Yeah.
Was it a leather bikini, leather underwear?
Well, that's too much clothes.
Well, I feel like are you usually topless, because we're in the U.S., so we got to be super careful. Here it's illegal to have a visible orgasm.
Like I don't use pasties or anything because I have piercings and I want to show them off.
Well, also pasties, they seem like a drag. They fall off of some people, and pulling them off probably hurts your boobs a little bit.
I just got on. Are we really talking about porn and fetish? Yes.
Well, pornography fetish. Oh, porn and fetish. We are actually talking about. We're talking about fetish. That's the title of the show. So a lot of times when you talk about fetish stuff, you wind up talking about pornography, and it kind of. I mean, they kind of are. I don't think they're really related because fetish is different. Fetish is when you. A true fetish is when somebody needs something to get off at all. Like with a really strong fetish. We're just talking about, I don't know a lot of people who have a full-on fetish, and when I do, they're foot fetishes. A true foot fetishist, there's got to be feet somewhere happening in the situation. I might recommend, if you have a chance to get a foot rub or a foot service from a foot fetishist, just give it a shot. Just put that out there.
I should do that. Though I'm really ticklish, so I don't want to kick them in the face.
Sometimes they like it. I have kicked somebody in the face.
Well, okay then.
We don't kick them so hard you break their nose. You just kick them because they are doing things you told them not to. Mainstream views doggy style as kink. Oh yeah, that's true. So mainstream views goth as kink. They look at the way we dress, and they're like, oh, so you're all into, and then like flaying people alive and fucking their bones and whatever you can think that's weird and gross. And I'm like, sure, if that keeps you away from me, I'm good with that. But no, that's not. It's probably the same percentage because like 14% of people have either tried or done something that actually falls under the realm of BDSM. I assume it's the same in goth. It just so happens that Vegete, I think it's a big deal to people, so they can go to that and they can feel more safe because it's all goths. And it is pretty much a floor show where you can do stuff if you want to and nobody's going to pressure you not to, which is how every single dungeon in the whole fucking world and every fetish event should be. But I think that in that case, that's a very highly attended event because it's made to be a spectacle. Do you think that's true, Caroline?
Yeah, kind of. If you want to, of course, it can be in one of those private booth thingies. Mm-hmm. Some of those booths have like a kind of a live stream camera, so you can sit in another booth and just watch.
Really?
And there's also the people who
cool.
will just get off right on the stage.
Yeah, that's illegal in the U.S. Literally, Texas has no visible orgasm allowed. If somebody thinks
no visible orgasm.
No visible orgasm. That means that you can kind of...
You can come in your pants.
As long as you don't make a face.
Yep. If there's a person with a penis and they have an erection, then you're getting into illegal territory. The cops will find any reason to raid a place. It is... Yeah. Wow. And in the South, it's worse.
Wow.
Because I knew someone in New York, and he left school for a while. When he came back to school, what he'd done, he made enough money for school doing live sex shows. And I was like, what? Because I didn't know that was legal anywhere in the U.S. And I was like, I got to go to New York. But yeah, in Texas,
a visible erection is enough to get someone arrested?
No, if somebody thinks that you might have an orgasm, if you had, let's say, preseminal fluid, the clear stuff that comes out first, yeah, that's enough to get arrested.
Huh.
If they think you're about to have an orgasm, if they think that, you can get arrested. And I know
Don't
that
make the face.
Well, it's the way that people get back at whatever dungeon they're pissed at, because when you have a small membership thing, there's always fucking drama, y'all. There's always drama. Somebody's always got to start some kind of shit that has no business anywhere. Everybody else is just trying to have a good fucking time and be friends and shit like that and be around the other freaks like themselves, but somebody's got to start shit. So one of the beautiful things that people like to do is to call the fire marshal and have such a painful restriction put on. I saw a dungeon go down from a capacity allowed of 200 people down to 75. And last time I knew, they were still surviving. I'm sure people are donating. But people, oh yeah, when they get mad, sour grapes, they will call the cops. They will call the fire marshal. They'll call whoever they want to, because it's so easy to get a fetish club shut down. Damn. Even though it's membership only, people can't just, I'm sorry, y'all, I have lint or something stuck right there. You can't just walk in off the street. There's, like the one I'm thinking of has like a a little greeting parlor type place, and there's a closed door between you and the next area where nudity is allowed, and then there's another door where any activity is involved. So that's in a whole different room. And yeah, you can't just walk in off the street into a dungeon in any dungeons I've ever dealt with in Texas. You have to know somebody. You have to apply for membership. You have to do all sorts of things because it is so easy to get busted or to get fucked over by people. And they do it. I've actually seen them try to get the places shut down. So yeah, Caroline, we are dealing with something very, very fucking different here. And I assume that Florida is probably similar based on the percentage of Confederate flags per population. Except that Michigan's making the rest of us look good right now. Now they're trying to open up Texas on May 1st.
I genuinely don't know if it's that bad. We do have a rather famous character at the castle by the name of the Senator, who always shows up in his nightie and his panties with a raging erection.
Really? Does he keep the erection the whole time? I wonder if he's got an issue.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the whole time.
I mean, yes. I wonder literally if he's got some kind of issue or if he's just like, these panties are making me too hot. I mean, that could be too. But if he feels... I
cannot answer that.
If he feels free and he's not fucking with other people, I guess literally, then you guys are tolerating him.
No, he's much beloved. Him. Yeah, he's beloved.
Yeah, they just need somewhere to... And that's the same thing in the dungeon in Dallas that I would go to. You would have men, male-identified men, come in full corset and hose every time. And God damn it, their legs didn't look 50 times better than mine. But like the full platforms and all that kind of stuff, and they would just walk around and just talk to people and just enjoy being in their fancy panties.
I kind of feel like we need to have Ian on this because he's making a lot of comments about like fetish in the Tampa area.
Yeah. Ian, can you invite Ian? Ian, will you please come on? Please, please, please. You can be on without your contacts. Well, he always wears contacts. Okay.
Let's see if he actually picks up.
Okay. Come on, baby.
No whammy.
Lady Gothic says, don't make the ooh face. Ooh. The thing I can't stand to see, I can watch people be lit on fire. I can watch them get knife play. I can't watch people hang. Excuse me. Putting the hooks in, no problem. Actually hanging, no. But
see, I like that so much.
Tongue kissing.
That's what I was telling you. I saw in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well, I've seen suspension several times. The person I saw suspended that I watched get bullwhipped, I kid you not, when I said the horsewhip thing and he was strung up to the ceiling, was on cuffs. Like the specialized cuffs so you don't remove the tendons and stuff. But I'm fine watching somebody have huge hooks put behind their knees, but as soon as you lift them up, I freak out. But to me, the suspension is also a fetish. So it's usually, if it's done at a goth event, it's also advertised as fetish. And I personally am fine with that, even though it's generally highly spiritual for the people that are having it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those that kind of rides the line as well.
Ian says he doesn't have the good webcam handy. Do it anyway, Ian.
Oh, come on.
Please. Please. So
I know, I'm like, come on. Well, damn. Okay, well,
that was to the he does fuck with people. That is a shame. I've never seen that or heard about that, but if that is the case, that is a real shame.
The senator?
Yeah, I've never heard something like that.
Well, it may depend on who he fucks with, because there could be more than one fetish happening here. It could be there's an underwear fetish, and so we have an erection. It could be that there's a dysfunction, so we have an erection. I mean, that could be too. But it could be that there's a specific kind of person that person, the senator, has a fetish for. Because people have fetishes, like, seriously, like, as a person, I mean, look at these. That's a major fetish for a lot of people. It's a very vanilla fetish. Caroline is a walking fetish because of being demure in stature. I mean, as goths, we're a walking fetish as well for a lot of people. So maybe that sensitive person has some weirdo fetish. Oh, Ian, we had a what are these called? Live stream where I had
our potato face live stream.
We did a potato face, but we had one, the first one. Everybody's all fancy, and I'm wearing a do-rag because my hair was. I was like, when did I get off of work at 6? We had the live stream at 6:30 that time. The first one, the first actual live stream. I got off work at 10 after 6. I had to feed the dogs, and of course I have to have a cocktail because I say I'm exploring my alcoholism during this pandemic, but I pretty much, unless I'm talking to someone online, I'm not drinking. I say that I've been wanting to try this orange vodka. I just got it. I'm going to try it with amaretto next.
So I have a story.
If he's drunk, yeah. Yes, please.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not a fun story, but it might be a good topic conversation, whatever starter thing. So that last fetish event that I went to, the one that had all the clown porn, I had heard afterwards that one of the performers, they had a volunteer from the local scene come up on stage with them. I had found out that she had gone on stage without any knowledge of what was happening. She kind of got pressured into doing it because the person that they were holding out for said no and continued to say no, and they didn't make a backup plan. And then when she was on stage, not knowing what to expect, she had feathers stapled into her back and then whipped off with feathers stapled into her back, and then whipped off with a weed whacker.
What the fuck? That is dangerous. That is fucking dangerous.
And not knowing what she was going into is what I heard. They did not give her any indication of what would be going on stage.
That is
that's
extreme.
For me the problem. For me, that's a problem right there.
That's somebody who doesn't understand the scene at all. That is fucking dangerous. Because weed whackers will take your skin off to the bone if you're not careful. And I get that. You know, I've seen people with actual whips, with horse whips, because those are dangerous too. They're fun for the sound and they scare people. But to see someone who's actually whipped, you know how much talent it takes to whip somebody and not make them bleed. Honestly, just not make them bleed. That is so fucking dangerous. I can't even believe they did that. And she didn't know. That is 9 kinds of crap.
Yeah.
And that's when the people walking around, like that one that you went to, Caroline, without people walking around to stop that shit. I'm like, oh no, that is not.
Well, this was one of the performances.
Right, but she didn't know. When it's a performance, it's a performance. Performances are not something that you usually do improv unless you're like, we're going to do some improv BDSM. Let's see if somebody gets hurt really bad. That is
not even a BDSM scene you do like that.
Hell no.
Not even. You don't do that.
No, you almost write out, well, a lot of people do, you use like a contract of all the things that you got to make sure that you exclude the things because you don't want to put somebody into a panic state, a true panic state. You don't want to trigger somebody's PTSD because a lot of times people are expressing PTSD in the fetish world. And that's why it's weird with goth events. And I like the idea that it's kind of a party like the Vegete one, but at the same time, if you're going to do some really deep work, you need to be in a dungeon, not in a fetish event inside of a goth event. You know what I mean? When it's deep work, it's scary, and you need to be somewhere that is explicitly safe, and you need to have explicit agreement, and you need to discuss beforehand what might happen and what you're expressing. If you're working, I call it deep work, this is working out some serious fucking... I say psychological issues, but sometimes PTSD, because a lot of times you can work out some very traumatic things, or you can push your limits. Some people want to push their limits, but that is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned with that feather and weed whacker. I would never consider a weed whacker on a human being. That's ridiculous. Oh, now it just makes me mad. Yeah.
Caroline, have you seen anything like that ever in your experience?
No.
Not like that, but where someone's been bullied into something.
No. For all the performances that happen at the Vegeta fetish party, like, these things are planned for months.
Yeah.
Like, everyone, like, somebody might get in, like, maybe a month before, but, like, everybody knows what's gonna happen, and stuff like that. And the day of, I think at like 5 p.m., like the party starts at 10. Then everyone will go through all of their performances at least once to practice. Like,
Right.
this also goes for suspension, the bondage shows, like all of that. Like, with their whole equipment and everything. So it's,
You
yeah.
need that kind of meticulous planning. Like, that's really important.
Yeah.
Right. It is. You have to plan it. Otherwise, you have to have your contingencies in place. Like, what are we going to do if this happens? What do we do if this happens? Like, if somebody starts to freak out, because it happens, and if you've ever seen somebody really freak out during a scene, watching what happens, and usually the person who freaks out is a sub. I haven't seen a dom fully freak out. I'm sure it happens. But watching how people, not just the dom, because usually nobody touches that sub unless the dom and the sub both say it's okay. But watching that care when something does happen, it tells you a lot about both people. It tells you a lot about the space that you're in as well. So I like that control. I like that Wave Gotik control. That makes me feel a lot better. Hopefully I'll go. Hopefully one year I'll have enough suitcase space to, I don't know, put in a pair of leather panties and some duct tape. Can you also be nice. The lady in a shroud wearing caftans in duct tape and panties, leather drawers? I like shrouds, y'all. I like to be like covered all the way. To a point is, but sometimes enough is enough. Oh, of course. Yeah, we're talking about spanking and hand spanking and stuff like that. Some people prefer that kind of, like, with the hands, because it's really, with an open-handed spank, it's hard to hurt someone. Unless you keep hitting them in the tendons. Okay, so Azzy, what did you want to ask Ian now that we've conned Ian into getting on here with the Dracula shirt in the background? Very nice.
And the Sisters of Mercy shirt on his body. You were worried about points. Fuck you.
I don't have my hair up. You hear me?
I can hear you.
My hair isn't
Okay,
up
cool.
either.
Mine's not up.
I have hair enough for all of us.
So does Malik. You two are making up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
And Michelle.
You don't need hair.
Michelle's up.
Caroline, you know how big I like my hair. You've seen it.
No, Ian, you can be the commentary on, like, porn industry and Tampa fetish shit.
Oh boy.
Wait, did you work in the porn industry?
Ian just knows a lot about it.
Deny that.
What? It was no, it's a valid question. Of course, you don't have to admit it. So.
It is a job. I mean.
Yeah, I was like, it's just a job.
So I do editing for the porn industry.
Oh, okay.
And I've been in some fetish videos.
Oh.
They were anything from hardcore to really weird stuff like giantess videos.
Giant what?
That's a big, like, giant and giantess where you're you use like a GoPro. So I would have to eat like little army men and tell them they were disgusting little pigs and to get in my belly. But people buy this shit. People love it. I don't get it, but
I would buy that because it's funny. But it's, for some people, it's a total turn on. So that's interesting. I never thought of giant. Oh, but I have sat on somebody before, so.
I guess it's called. They call it sploshing, where like you're sitting on like cakes. Like you put a cake on the floor and squash into it. There's all sorts of weird, like things that you wouldn't think of. So my wife does some fetish and adult work on the side, and she some of the videos that she's done is like mouth tours. She has braces, so they're like looking at, like, you'll get orthodontists that get off on. You think they see teeth all day, but like they'll look at these videos of just like her mouth, of her teeth, of her braces. Really weird shit.
Oh, for anyone wondering, that's a goth in an alcove. That's Ian.
Right. Yeah, so that's why I say when you go to, I call it the weird section, because one time I went looking for, and I wound up buying a pony play book because I just think they're so cute. I just think pony play is so cute. I don't want to do it because I'm lazy, but it's cute. So in that section, I saw feet and meat, feet, a bowl, hamburger meat on a magazine. I saw a woman milking herself into a bowl plate or something like that. What's the other one? Oh, Hirsute magazine. Looking for, in this particular case, femmes, women, femmes, whatever it is, who had more than average body hair and didn't shave it. And I was like, man, I should be doing this for money. That would be, this would be so easy. But I don't really have, all I have is big boobs, and there's a million of those. So, you know, every once in a while you just, if you go to the right porn store and they have what you're talking about, the weird shit, like the eating army men, sticking your feet in some hamburger. Because I actually have a friend who's very into wham, which is food play. So he likes to have, and this will be fine. He'll never see it. Neither of them will ever see it. Bite a hair pie, or bite a pumpkin pie, little lick of hair pie. Bite a pumpkin pie, little lick of hair pie. He likes to go between the two. There's something for everyone. But you know, that's not what you see at the goth clubs. What you see at the goth clubs is a lot of PVC, some leather, because we seem to go for the shiny stuff, some rubber. I saw somebody once just dancing up right next to the go-go dancers who were in, what do you call it, strip club type outfits, like neon strip club outfits at a goth club. That was weird. And this person was in a full, like, a $600 leather, or not leather, rubber catsuit with the belt, with the rings and everything. It was, oh, I found the hair that's been sticking me in the nose. It was, I wanted it. I wanted to look like that. She looked fantastic. So, Ian, what have you seen in the clubs as far as fetish inside of a goth club? I mean, I know a lot of it's laughable.
So this is where I brought up, like, talking about the chamber up in Atlanta. That was open. That started as a side project from the Masquerade nightclub back in the 90s, and it was it was really called Moncheries the Chamber, and it was like, in fact, the guy that ran the club is still around. He does a lot of events down here. His name is Jason. I know Mouse has done some spinning work for him, but that club, like, the club was really cool, except for the fact that, like, every hour on the hour, they would shut down the club to do these stage shows. So they'd stop the music, like, right dead in the track, you know, and they'd do a stage performance. But they had rooms set up where they could have easily have moved those performances to the side. So it didn't make much sense.
They were bringing too much.
I don't know, like... Yeah, I mean, you guys have pretty much covered, like, everything I've seen in the club. I've been to, like, a few of the Fetish Factory parties that I would think they would have been, like, basic stage performances, but instead it kind of turns into this kind of pseudo orgy, and I really didn't find that to be very comfortable to be around, because there was people having sex, like, right there, and, well, there's music still being spun, and everybody's dancing, and, like, that just didn't make... I don't know.
Wait, were they fucking in the dance floor?
Yeah.
Like an old school punk club. Like a punk club from the 70s where people just did whatever.
So, yeah, they would do it, the Fetish Factory parties, they would have, they still have them. We went to one down in, it was at a strip club, but all the music was goth industrial. You know, most people were dressed up like they were going to a regular goth night, except at some point during the evening, in fact, they had a big fetish burlesque performer there. It's Max. She does a lot of latex type fetish. So she did a performance, but then, like, once that was all done, people just started whipping out their privates, going at it right there in the middle of the club.
I have not seen that in a goth club ever. I've seen some tongues. And not even that often in goth clubs. Usually just see people dancing like a foot and a half from each other. Not touching, dancing and not touching.
I see people who show up to the goth club just to pet each other, like sit in a corner and just touch each other up and down.
Oh, I know people at the castle who have had sex in just about every place in that club while it's been open.
Yeah,
What?
that too.
I never get to see that stuff. I see people gross tongue kissing with spit strings until I'm almost throwing up because that freaks me out anyway. I don't get to see them having sex or hand jobs or any of that stuff. I just get to see the one thing that grosses me out.
There's a lot of the velvet furniture at the castle that I won't sit on anymore because I know who's been on it and what they've done.
God, Ian, you will have to tell me that because
I will later, yes.
So those alcoves that we were all sitting in, Mr.
Those,
Goth
as
and
far as I
Earth,
know,
those were
those are
safe.
safe.
Which is
You can
interesting
close
because they're
those
just
out.
private enough. I think they wouldn't be, but the one with the dripping air
Oh, no,
conditioner,
like-
we were probably okay.
Velvet's hard to clean. It's not an easy...
Did you take
But
me
they
through
have
a
like those
jizzy
like
spot?
leather whatever seats.
Did you have me sitting in a jizzy spot, Mister?
No, I did not. I did
Sir-
not put you
Sir
in jail.
Alcove? I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I. Are you sure?
Yep.
Well, I would
I-
have seen
I
it
know
because
I
I
saw
couldn't get
one-
drunk that night. But
He has a mental map of cum stains around the castle.
my God. Right, we were talking about. Of course, we were talking about how in Texas, if there's a visible orgasm, of course, it's a problem. You can get away with women. I've seen a lot of people just doing whatever, and just all of a sudden a vibrator comes out, and some woman, femme, whatever, is strung up and having a good time. But we don't want to see any pre-seminal fluid. So you just don't see that. Plus, also, in a dungeon, it's different because you have a lot of cleaning supplies right there. And if you leave that station and you haven't cleaned it, 12 people are going to say something to you. They're going to yell
the
at you, and
female
then they're going to rat
orgasm
you
is
out.
the female orgasm is a myth. That's probably why the law doesn't cover it.
What,
No, the clitoris is a
What?
myth.
Wait, what? Okay, let's
I'm just
expand
talking
the
good
female-
down home conservative values.
Oh, women shouldn't have orgasms because that's naughty?
No, they just don't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I never.
These are.
How would that even happen?
Yeah, I totally. It's like Ian said. The clitoris is also a myth. Like these just aren't things that
That's
happen.
right.
We don't
That's right.
talk about
It's
them. The only
really-
thing that women do is have babies, and we have to control that.
And it's just a pee
That's
hole.
it.
You pee out your vagina.
I do every day.
And maybe some out your butt. Oh man.
So, Caroline, what is the weirdest thing you ever seen in a fetish event
Good
that
question.
you've been in?
Well, it depends on what you think weird is.
Well,
It's a wide range
Yeah.
of what could be weird.
Well, we'll go by your
I
standards.
mean, like stuff that shouldn't be happening in the fetish event.
I don't think I've seen anything that like is not supposed to happen. I did react to that the security at the last, I think it was the last Vegeta fetish party, let in a couple of guys that were obviously not alternative in any way. And you could tell by their shoes. They had white sneakers on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
And
Every
obviously,
time.
because they weren't adhering to the dress code, they made the guys undress all the way to their tighty whities and their sneakers.
And they stayed. And they stayed?
Yeah.
They actually stood up on stage, looking around, having a beer, like,
Well, you would have bet one of
yeah,
those
this is
one
cool.
of those people left and
I
there was a
think
little bit
this.
of perv in them afterwards. But they came in
Like that-
they
that
left more
was-
pervy.
that was so weird. Like, because
Wow.
the security is usually really good, almost too good. Like, you're not naked enough, you're not coming in. Like, they can be really strict. Like, they want people to be actually for the fetish stuff.
Yeah, but those guys must have said something. And then they actually did get up on the stage in their grundies. I mean, they got up there and they're like, okay, I'm in front of everybody in my underwear. I mean, they were good
Yeah,
sports.
that-
They were good. I've seen people come to a goth show and then I've seen a band get a new fan from somebody who was originally just walking through to something else. So, I mean, same thing could happen to the perverts, right?
Ooh, I didn't know I liked that.
What, pervs?
No, the perverts.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Walking through and seeing something and be just like, oh, the vagina's not a myth.
No, the
I like
vagina.
Hayshaker's comments.
The vagina is for babies and
comments. I've only read about sex in the Bible, and I'm an atheist now, so it's all a myth.
Women are not supposed to enjoy the sex act. That is for procreation only, and men should spill their lust into a woman, but women should not enjoy it, right? Isn't that how it goes?
I don't know.
Oh, this is.
I never got past Exodus. Why?
I never got past Exodus either.
I'm totally against what you're saying.
Women can't enjoy sex. We have, no, that's just for babies and peeing.
I'm not married yet, so I haven't had sex in my entire life.
Right. You should not have sex until you're ready to squeeze out 50 kids. You should only have sex when you want to have a kid.
I can have sex in 6 months.
What?
I get married in exactly 6 months. That's when I can start having sex.
You finally get to bang. You're going to go to a fetish club to do it in front of everybody in your tiny whities. Oh my god. Yeah, well, okay, so what are some of the myths? Wow. Okay, let me just put down this alcoholic beverage. What are some of the myths that you've had to deal with about we'll just keep calling it fetish just because that's easier for people to understand, about that either lifestyle, scene, etc. What are the myths that you've had to deal with that you're like, seriously, fucker? Everyone?
I have to think about that one.
You haven't had anyone... You haven't seen the myths?
Yeah, but if somebody actually has, like, asked me about it, if that's true or made an assumption about me about that, I think some people have thought that, like, for example, the whole Vegeta fetish party thing is that literally everyone gets into one huge gangbang.
Yeah.
And that's what goths do.
I've seen that happen, but it was not at a fetish anything.
But luckily, I haven't gotten, like, those people who are like, so, you're a goth, you must be super easy, or into crazy shit, or...
I bet you like to bite.
I bet you like to bite. Well, you know, the one I've seen is women can't be doms. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. I'm a natural ginger, y'all, so I'm a natural redhead. So I've had to take shit about having red hair. And now it's, you know, super fake, which is how I like it. But before that, when it was my natural color, I'm a redhead. So people are like, the truth they say about redheads? And they're just filling the jokes with the worst jokes. But yeah, I've had someone look me right in the eyes.
What do they say about redheads?
Do the curtains match the drapes?
Oh, okay.
Redheads supposedly have a temper. Okay, we do when you talk about our red hair making us have a temper. Supposedly better in bed, supposedly just sex fiends, you know, whatever. People make up all sorts of shit about people with red hair.
Okay.
Very fucking similar to what they say about goths, actually. Except for the curtains and the drapes. Oh yeah, I've had people want me to show them my pubic hair so many times, it is ridiculous. And I'm like, pay me. They don't want to pay me. I'm like, okay, if you could come up with $50, you could see this shit. You see what's happening down there. I'm not saying what's happening. I mean, you could just see whatever's there. But, yeah, I get that crap all the fucking time. But my favorite is women can't be doms. They're naturally submissive. I'm like, okay, your average human being is naturally a little bit more submissive. But, yeah, let's go.
So what about switches?
I've had friends that say switches are just crap. That switches are bullshit.
That's a myth.
I've heard that.
Oh, my God.
Or that switches just can't make up their mind and they want it all. I'm just like, maybe they like both, but I just I don't enter into that fray because I'm like, I can't tell somebody what their sexuality is, and if this is part of your sexuality, that's not for me to define. So, but yeah, a lot of doms that I've known think switches are bullshit. That they're just don't want to make up their mind.
So my wife does some work that puts her in contact with people that want her to be a switch. So naturally she's very submissive, but when somebody is paying her on cam, they might want her to be the dominant. And so she has to pull out the bitch attitude, and she does it very well. It kind of scares me. So I don't know if that's acting, or it's just like, okay, they're forking over money and I can play this part, or if, like, she says she's naturally a switch. I've never seen it, but
So what I've experienced with switches, people who really are a switch, is they'll feel submissive to some people and dominant to others. That's all it means. Or they could be on an equal footing if they just want to have a meet and beat and just switch off, literally switch off. So switches they can play either role. Sometimes they like this role with this person. Sometimes they like that role with that person. I just kept my opinions to myself with the people who are just like, switches are a myth.
Yeah, so Steve said, like, bisexuality. Yeah, I mean, people say, like, you can't be bi, you have to be one or the other.
You can be anything you want. It's a fucking spectrum.
I agree.
It's a spectrum. And while we may define it as a masculine and feminine, there's all sorts of stuff in between. So when you get to the full-on middle, we just never bothered to define that. And the only word we would have would be neuter, which makes no sense at all. But yeah, everything in the world pretty much is except for binary, the programming language. I'm so funny. Everything is a spectrum. It's all a spectrum. With human behavior, human emotions, all of it. It's all a spectrum. And there's always that in between. And maybe the bisexual is that pure mostly central in between. I don't get why people say bisexuals don't exist. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's stupid. Short-sighted. Sorry, I don't mean stupid. Yeah. I don't think people are stupid. I think they're intentionally ignorant.
I've never had anybody say to me that women can't be doms. I've had people say that women are naturally submissive, but I've never heard anyone say to me that women can't be doms.
I've heard both.
Yeah, same.
I've heard both.
Because I worked for a brief stint as a dominatrix when I lived in Wisconsin still.
Oh, then you know they don't really make that much money once you have to pay for all the equipment.
Well, I did knife play, and I already had knives, so...
Well, I mean, the clothing and stuff like that gets wrecked.
Oh, well, that.
I should do that for a living. That'd be fun.
Doms?
What?
So what about financial doms, fin doms?
There are people out there looking for that shit. There are people out there who will proposition you to try to get you to be a financial dom. I personally, that makes me sick to my stomach even thinking about it. But there are all sorts of people who have all sorts of issues that they want someone else to control, right? Like, it's a power exchange.
Yeah.
Right? If you're doing it, I think if you're doing it right in the BDSM world, and the DS especially, it is a power exchange. And every time I hear someone say the sub has all the power, I know that they don't have very much experience. Or they don't fully understand what's happened. That's my opinion, is that it is a power exchange. No party is more powerful than the other party, ever. Financial doms.
Correct, yes.
Right. Financial doms, however, first of all, they make me think Jerry Springer, first of all. And I think about women who get on there with these weird, crazy-looking nails, because it always seems to be women with crazy-looking nails, who think that some person, usually a man, we're talking it's usually binary in most cases, needs to pay for everything about them. I just don't buy into that. I've actually been asked more than once to be a financial dom, and I was like, yeah, I have a job. I'm good. Do you want me to set you up a CD or a 401k and put your money there? But that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for someone to fulfill some need. Could be due to PTSD, anxiety, could be due to all sorts of stuff, but fulfill some need that they want that control of their own money taken away from them. They want to be punished by being destitute, if that makes any sense. Just like some people want to be punished by spanking, or ones I can't deal with, licking toilets. That freaks me out. I've seen it. So when I saw that person who did the toilet licking challenge for the young YouTubers up for COVID, I was like, "Are you shitting me? Somebody should be paying you $800 an hour to do that because that's what."
Yeah.
I'm like, you're looking at some serious weird stuff. That's usually people
So
trying to
Delilah
catch bad
asked what a findom is, and you got the right idea. It's typically a findom will blackmail, use supposed blackmail of like, I'll tell your wife or your spouse, or your kids that you're talking to me if you don't give me money.
Right.
And so that's the power exchange.
Yeah, you have to find a power exchange with the money. So yeah, I have known like one ever in person. I've seen them, but I've only ever known one in person, and that wasn't the only thing they did. And yeah. I was just like, how do you wake up with yourself in the morning doing that shit?
We know a few.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. I have a problem with it.
But they do other things as well. Like that's not their main source.
Exactly. I've seen them online where they're just financial doms, but anyone I know who has done anything like that has done it in a way that you'd kind of expect somebody with some sort of integrity to do. Like accept the money, but then do something for them, or save it up for them for something, or spend all of it on the sub, or whatever dom clothing, so that you have the look that the sub likes. It doesn't wind up being fully about just supporting the dom, if that makes sense.
Right.
Not people that I know and would speak to a second time. Dominatrix over finances. Yes, Delilah, that's exactly what it is. It's getting someone to give you money, usually to where they're subsisting. They're not enjoying their money, and frequently it is somebody who makes quite a bit of money, so that the dom will be well financed. We'll just say well financed, and live a pretty comfortable life. And I've seen it with lower income. Not usually like minimum wage income, but like not super high income, or lawyers or something like that. That I don't know. That's seedy. To me, that's seedy. And I have never seen that one in the goth world. Poetry dom. You have to sit there and be nice while I read you shitty poetry that we all write while we're sad. I feel like that's a service that's needed. Send me your crap poetry. I'll read it to bad boys and girls and in-betweens. Okay, so yeah, it's weird that people think they can decide you're straight or lesbian. They don't know. Nobody knows that but yourself. How would anybody fucking know?
By your haircut.
Your sexuality.
Sorry, that was sarcasm.
By what? Oh, a haircut. Yeah, we can't say that now because
I'm not like completely straight, as you can see. I'm like kind of. Malik's pretty straight.
If you're not looking to date and or fuck that person, why does it matter? What difference does it make what their sexuality or gender is if you're not looking to get into whatever under their clothes? If you're not looking to get under their clothing, who cares? It's not for us to define. I mean, I know that some people will say that about goth. Goth is what you say it is because the same thing. It's not like gender, motherfucker. Goth has defined borders. With gender, it really doesn't.
It does.
Right. Goth is not a spectrum. There are some things that you have to have.
In the chat.
No.
So, Ian, it looks like you've had a haircut. You've had a haircut in isolation.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. No.
Well, I have not. I have gray and iron and what the fuck. This is my undercut, y'all. This is how long it is now.
So Courtney, who was on one of the Obscura Undead videos,
Where'd Ian go?
Oh, they stopped talking. Okay, if you can see us, Ian, you might want to get off the call and back on.
Friends, family.
He's back. He's back. No?
There we go.
Oh.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
See.
Okay. So There we go.
Courtney's
Can you
been
hear
on
me?
the Obscura
Yeah,
Undead channel,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, so Courtney came over last week as a special favor and made a house call, but we were, other than them cutting my hair, we haven't seen anybody for like 4 weeks now.
Yeah, I have a friend that goes from their undiseased house to my undiseased house to do laundry. We sit on opposite ends of the couch. There's no hugging, which is sad to see your friends and not have any hugs. But because they come to my house to do laundry, because it's safer than going to a laundromat, and because it's undiseased house to undiseased house.
I want to hug all of you.
What?
This is so sad. Oh, I went from seeing Assy every single weekend to none. Like that. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you stop smoking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I went from looking forward to Clan of Zymox, a goth night, and one other thing that weekend to no Clan of Zymox, because none of my friends went, to no goth night and no whatever the other thing was. It was like blam. It's like Thursday, everything was like, okay, I'm still going to go to Clan of Zymox, da-da-da-da. Friday, it was over. I was in isolation.
Yeah, I was supposed to see the mission today.
Oh, yeah. And it hurts. You're like, okay, I'm just kind of hanging, and all of a sudden you're like, it just kind of sinks in every once in a while. And y'all, when my ticket got canceled for Vegete, I've now contacted, I didn't have time to actually call the hotel to try to go for 2021. I'm just like, man.
Did you get a notification that it was canceled?
My flight? No. I just went to check on it to see if it was canceled, and there was no flight assistance. And they were, when I called them, they said they were going to...
No, your Vegete tickets.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No, they haven't canceled it.
I know, Mary Luna canceled. Come on. Sorry, that's another topic.
The problem with Vegete is to pull that off with the venues, they have to wait for the government to cancel it for them.
Right.
Yeah.
They may have to... I don't know if they'd have to go ahead with the festival and as many people as can get to it. But Germany, I can't make a flight to Germany. I can't go to Germany at that time. I cannot reschedule. It's gone. So my airline did not tell me. I went and checked. I was like, well, let's see how it's going. Hey, look at that. I don't have a flight. So I call them and they're like, it's being rescheduled. I have a travel agent friend who's already put in my request for a refund. It's been 6 days and it says pending. I had an expensive ass flight. Well,
yeah, you usually fly expensive ass, don't you?
Well, deluxe, fat butt seat. I fly fat butt seat is what it is. And it's, what do you call it, deluxe economy?
Well, I've been surprised that just like Trefen hasn't put it on an official statement of canceling, because I thought that the German government shut all events down through like September or something.
I think
it was the end of August. Merkel said that all events until the end of August are now banned, but still like the local, well, I think Leipzig is in Sachsen or something. Mm-hmm. They have to actually have a meeting and stuff. I think that'll happen.
Oh, I see.
It has to be very official, and the Vegete people can't have any written record whatsoever that they were going to cancel before that, or they're going to be liable for it, and there will be no more Vegete ever. It will. Yep. Imagine the expense of putting this festival on, y'all. Just even the wristbands and the information packets. So they just can't. They will be the last event to fully cancel. They're gonna, and they'll probably honor the tickets for 2021 is my guess. But yeah, we've not seen any refunds. I just want to get my hotel because I got kind of a, what do you call it? A junior suite, semi-fancy, a pretty fancy. My room last year, y'all never saw my room last year. I had two rooms. Did you come into my room?
No, we went to Jez's room and we got drunk. Never mind.
My room had 2 bathrooms.
To
get a room like that in the U.S. would have been 3 times the price at least. So, but I couldn't get the smaller. I wanted the juniors. I just wanted a couch. I wanted a fucking couch, y'all. That's all I wanted. And those rooms were sold out, so I had to go up a level, and it was still cheaper than I would have gotten it in the U.S. It was expensive. It's like $1,400 for my stay. That's it's a lot of money. I think
that's not bad. My stay was like $1,200.
Right. And I had 2 rooms. I had a pull-out bed on a couch. I had a room with a TV by itself, a front bathroom, cubby holes. I had a round window all around stuff. That was a comfortable ass bed though. European beds are good. European pillows and beds are good. Anyway, so yeah, the Vegete, they can't. Their liability is too great. They have to wait till the last second. Everybody knows it's going to be canceled, but they can't do it officially. They can't have anything official. I saw that people are bitching, and I was like, they can't have it written down anywhere. They know. They just can't write it
Ian
down.
and I talked
really
about that on
weird
video,
insurance thing.
Yes.
That they can't even say, like, hey, we're monitoring the situation. We don't know. Right. As far as we know, it's still going on. But, yeah.
Yeah, event
the communication is kind of ridiculous that they just completely ignore it.
Well,
I want to hear more weird sex stories.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, well, I'll be back. I'm gonna, have fun with your weird sex, you psychos.
Oh, do you need to go get ready?
What?
I thought she was ready. Ian?
I'm here.
Caroline, you got any stories? I want to hear stories.
What story do you want to hear?
Ooh, Malik, you got any stories?
I think I shared once that I wasn't at this event, and this lady had a goth fetish, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." She was like, "Would you kiss me?" I'm like, "No." Who are you? Actually, I didn't even know you. And she was like very like all over me, and I think that's pretty disgusting. But it happens. I understand that it is a fetish, sadly, and people are into it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happened to me.
Wow.
You were there, Azzy.
Who was it?
No. It was a mainstream girl.
I know I've seen people get like really weird and in your space.
Yeah. Oh, you remember? Oh, I tell you later. I can't say it.
Okay,
It's because of the band that played that night. I don't wanna. It's because of that. Okay. That's why I don't want to say it. But yeah, it happens anywhere. It doesn't matter where it was. What it really matters is that people need to take it slow with that. That's they get into our space and make us very uncomfortable.
They're usually drunk.
I was kind of drunk.
No, not you. Them.
Oh yeah. Well, but still, like I was like kind of upset with that because I didn't understand why she was like that towards me. And
probably because you were wearing makeup and goth. I have such feedback.
Yeah, she was saying something about my contacts, that they look beautiful or something like that. I was wearing the red ones, and she was like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, lady, can you step back a little bit? Because she was like really close to me, and she was like, would you dance with me and stuff like that? I'm like, no.
I don't want to dance with each other.
Would you go away, please?
I saw that happen to Jet once at the castle. Like this really drunk random woman was like up in his space and kept trying to like grind on his crotch, and he kept moving away and turning, and then she kept doing it and she was following him around, and finally he was like this, and it's just like, leave me alone. And she got really pissed off at her friends.
I've had similar incidents at the castle though. But
have you? Tell us all about it.
No, I mean it's to Jet, I mean, it's like you get a lot of I call them muggles that
The muggles.
come in off the street that aren't part of the castle scene. That get really drunk and they think that we're all there to be their personal fetish and
The people
grind
out there
all over.
just waiting for them to say, "Hey, give me a blowjob." Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hey, bye.
Yeah, I don't like that comment in the chat. Come on, you know you like it when that girl was all over you.
Oh, I think
Who said
that's
that?
heavily sarcastic.
Who
I
said that?
hope so, because
Yeah.
That's heavily sarcastic, Azzy. That's
okay. Thank you.
No, I
That's
did
Thank you
not.
for translating for me.
that's the
'Cause
no means yes kind of
I mean,
stuff.
if I like it, I won't deny it.
Yeah.
that no means yes
I
kind of
like it. I
stuff.
like it.
Yeah, y'all. Hopefully, y'all didn't grow up with the women say no, but they mean yes. Serious fucking rape culture. I grew up
Yeah.
at the end of that. I'll say at the end of that. That's still part of my time, but yeah, in the that was still huge in the 70s. When I was a little kid. So no means yes. Yeah, when a woman says no, she really means yes. I was like, wait a minute. So that means women don't get to say no ever because we always mean yes.
I was raised with a single mom, so I was always raised to be more respectful of women. Like I saw her the way guys treated her. I saw her get beat. So
Non-consensually.
yeah, like I saw a lot of really messed up stuff. So I think
Right.
it kind of skewed my view of women growing up to a positive, to what it should be, what I think it should be.
I mean, we're people and stuff with brains,
Right. Exactly.
thoughts, feelings, and we're not just a walking vagina baby factory.
Right.
A vagina that's always ready, but shouldn't feel anything. Just saying.
Caroline.
I'm just saying.
What's your favorite kind of performance to participate in?
Oh, that's a good question.
I really like the whole shibari thing, and
yeah.
to be hung up with that. I love that.
Shibaru is the Japanese rope tying. It's very beautiful. It's artwork and
Yeah.
really good with suspending people in an oddly torturous yet kind of comfortable way, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
When you see torture
we have a lot
with
of
a bunch of
people-
ropes, that's frequently Shibaru.
Yeah. We have a lot of people at the Vegeta fetish party that are like walking around with
Mhm.
shibaru around like just their leg or
Yeah,
their whole
yeah.
body and
I've
stuff
seen a
like
lot
that.
of corsets. It's really pretty. It takes a lot of work
Yeah.
to wear that.
Yeah, I know this one guy. I've always called him my bondage dude. I was really drunk when I first met him. And I remember the first time I saw this kind of stuff. At first, I saw people hanging, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And then,
What, by the
Okay.
ropes? By the Shibadu?
yeah.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
one way I'd let myself be suspended. As long as you didn't give me purple boobs, because that freaks me out just a little bit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
boobs always kind of look a little weird.
But that's someone who
So-
likes, for someone who likes that kind of torture, that is the perfect way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
It's
And you
very
need someone
beautiful.
that's really good at this stuff. You
Yes.
can't have just an amateur doing this kind
No,
of stuff.
because you'll have something lopsided and it'll wind up cutting into tendons, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah.
It'll hurt. Like, my fucking bra is killing me right now, if y'all can't figure out why I can't stop touching. Excuse me.
And yeah, and obviously, I'm a very easy person to hang up.
Right.
I weigh like 70 pounds.
You're probably
So
actually
you-
quite good to practice suspension on.
Yeah.
Because if somebody can't suspend you right, they are really fucking that shit up.
Yeah.
But Shibadu's very beautiful. I've seen it done in a corset where people walk around, they just wear it. I've seen it done with some pretty extreme torture. But I like it a lot. I think it's really pretty.
Yeah, it is.
And
It
soft.
is.
The ropes are usually very soft.
Yeah.
So Creepy Cutie Girl said that it can be very cathartic doing shibari.
Yeah,
Is that-
well, it's very meditative. There's almost a hypnotic quality to that. I had a couple books.
Yeah.
Had a couple books I gave away by Diva Midori. about Shibadu. I think maybe they weren't Diva Midori. Diva Midori is in California, and she is a Shibadu expert.
I think it has to have a sense of sensuality to it, and it has
Right.
to be beautifully done, not like, okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Oh my God, no! No, if you're just gonna tie somebody up, just get
It's
some
not
cuffs.
like that. It's
Just
not
get
like
cuffs
that.
to make it easy on yourself if you're not willing to put in the patience. Because the whole thing about Shibadu is that it's an art form, and there's a lot of stuff in fetish that's actually an art form. There's an art to doing it right. There's an art to flogging someone correctly for that person, because every person's different.
Actually, last event we went together to a suspension one, right?
Yeah, that was the Sin 9 album release party.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The what?
yeah.
What album release?
For a band in Orlando called Sin 9.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a suspension performance through that, and that was really lovely. That was very nice.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to see well done kink, BDSM, etc. If it goes from, there was a guy that used to go to this dungeon I used to go to. Not that I would ever admit to that, but I would never go to a dungeon. That's wrong and naughty. But my friend and I used to call him the dentist because he was wearing the white shirt. He would wear white shirt and black pants, and he looked so fucking clean. And he would start. He did things a little differently every time, but he would start very light, and he would build up to canes, like canes. And canes this big, you're going to leave a plaid set of bruises if you're really having a good time. But he was such an artist with how he did this. And he didn't tie people up, he just had them over a spanking bench. But the beauty of someone who really takes their craft seriously, and he took that craft seriously. So honestly, when I see the fetish parties in the goth realm, I want to see people taking it that seriously, where it's not just care, but it's love. It's like they put love into it because as we all say, love is love. Love is pure. It just is what it is. But to put that much love into the craft of it is meditative, hypnotic, and beautiful to watch.
Was the rope suspension that you guys, was this rope suspension or was this like hook suspension that you guys saw?
Rope suspension.
Yeah,
Because,
rope.
like,
Rope.
Courtney does. Courtney, they do hook
They
suspension.
do hooks.
Yeah.
I've seen photos of that. I love it.
I've seen hooks live,
Mira,
but because it's me and I have a hard time with hooks, actually, when they pull the skin away from the sinew, I start getting freaked out. You can put a hook this big through somebody's body, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's just a piercing. As soon as you lift them, I have to look away. I can't deal for some reason.
In fact, I hadn't thought about this in a while, but the group that Jason, who I talked about from the Chamber up in Atlanta, they would do parties at conventions, like science fiction conventions, but they would do fetish parties, and they did a lot of needle play at those parties. And I always thought, like, needle play with like hypodermic, or not hypodermic, like the.
I mean, that's
pierce
naughty. You
needles.
shouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
blood.
I have a friend who he does that professionally.
Mm-hmm.
What, blood play or just needle?
Needle play,
Like
yeah.
with the little
And-
needles or whatever.
And it took him a really long time, and he worked with in a master apprentice sort of situation for years before ever, venturing out and doing it on their own. And they make really good money doing it too.
Because it takes so much skill to be good at that. That is something that terrifies most people. So if somebody wants that done, it would be honestly worth saving up the money to go to a professional who's well rated, who's well respected. Because having seen some piercings done, I've seen it done. I've seen the actual, instead of corset piercings with the rings, I've seen all the little, I call them pipettes. They're
Just like
the little plastic things with the stabbies in them is what I'm talking about. All the way, like 4 rows down somebody's back. And of course, they had maybe one tiny little scab from that. Our skin will just close up around it and it's like nothing ever happened. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I was kind of envious. I was like, I didn't get to see the whole thing. I only got to see like 1 or 2 stabs. I was like, well, piss. Excuse me, because that's interesting.
And they make it look so easy.
Right, right. But, you know, a lot of people just think that pleasure and pain, they're just stimuli and they're just sensation. And some people can differentiate and some people can't. I think when you add a lot of sensuality into some of the lighter pain, I think it's very, I find it refreshing. That's probably
That
not
is
the
a
answer.
key.
What?
That is a key factor when doing needle play or any kind of impact play. It's the way you do it, the way you add the sensuality to it.
We'll do it with love. Do it with fucking love.
Yeah.
If you put love into impact play, needle play, knife play, whatever you're doing, fire play, because if you've ever had fire play done, and I highly recommend it with somebody who's experienced and good, when they put the love that goes into a lot of that kind of play, because a lot of people really, there is a lot of love. There's a lot of, I don't want to say emotions, but there's a lot of emotional release and a lot of love put into that kind of play when somebody's really enjoying their craft. And I think of it as a craft. With fire play, it's already warm and it already has that sensuality to it, that because fire play doesn't hurt. You think it does. People are lit on fire and you see the fire go up on their back. I've had fire play done to me and I'm telling y'all, it is like being hugged and loved for like an hour. It is.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Oh my God, there is almost
I
nothing
love fire
better.
play.
Yeah,
I love fire
play.
It feels good on both ends, on the giving and the receiving of fire play. Seriously. But the person has to be good at it, and it doesn't take as much practice as knife play or needle play or anything like that, but it does. It feels like a hug. And again, well-crafted kink and or fetish is a very beautiful thing. It's got that power exchange. Correct. It's got a lot of love in it. And it's got a lot of what a lot of us crave, which is a very, very close, intimate bond that cannot be understood by people outside of that bond. Like when you go to, I've seen that in a lot of, and y'all, I'm bringing it back. I've seen it in subcultures, in the BDSM subculture. I've seen it in the pagan world. And I've seen it in the goth world where there's a closeness that your average person who's going to football games, drinking their Bud Light, and just doing whatever their basic Starbucks shit, they don't understand. And I think that people who crave those things in their subcultures, and I feel that this is the same for goths, it's a level of closeness that is not generally achieved in the mainstream culture. And I see it in BDSM, I've seen it in paganism, and I've seen it in the goth culture. And there's a closeness. There's like the ability to be able to, okay, here's a good one. The ability to be able to get into bed with somebody and spoon with them and have it actually just be all love and non-sexual. And your average person cannot understand that, y'all. That's the thing. They can't understand that amount of freely given love. And I see that in these subcultures. In some of those,
I don't think I could live without that kind of freely given love.
Right. Well, you live that. But think about your average person, the tank top girls with their long straightened hair and their Starbucks, going out at night with the striped shirt dudes with their untucked shirts. They don't understand that. They don't understand that.
Ika penis.
Right. They don't get it. And so people will, because of that, they will never really, unless they're in it, they will never really understand the world of kink and or fetish, whatever you want to call it. They will never understand that world of goth. And because I've been to all three of those, they will never understand that pagan, and they all have that similar quality to them. I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm like, if you can't get in bed naked with me and just snuggle and enjoy and stay warm, I mean, you don't have to sometimes, but do you understand? Y'all understand what I mean, right? That ability to reach that level of intimacy without having to fuck that person. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, it happens, but without it being the expected result.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like fetish does have a place in the goth world. It is not the goth world. They are not the same thing. I think that we've defined that pretty clearly about 25 times. But they do kind of they go together well just because of that specific thing. It's that, to me, having been in several subcultures, that is the overarching kind of, oh, we lost Malik. We missed him. Them. We missed them. We are now sad. Anyway, but that's kind of the overarching thing that all of those subcultures have, is an intimacy, a closeness that is difficult to achieve in the mainstream. Sorry, I think my phone just went crazy.
So, Michelle, can I ask you? Do you think that maybe this could be a question for everybody? That why there's such a fascination with sexuality within the goth community a lot of times ties into some of the interests that we have, the romanticism of like the vampires and that gothic literature that, well, it's not music based, there is a crossover that comes from it.
Okay, so we know as people who participate, for me personally, if you're to be goth, you love the goth music, you support the scene. That makes you close enough for me. Okay, but the things that you're talking about, I think that people are attracted to goth because they're attracted to what they see as exotic. And the thing about people that are attracted to things that are exotic is, first of all, they admire some of the things they see that they don't understand. And seeing some of our close, because you don't see a lot of, you see goths walking places alone, but you see goths from the outside view. Think about how deep and intimate our relationships really can be, because we crave that. And I think that's part of what personally, I like the aesthetic as well, but we crave that kind of stuff. And I think that for the outside world, they don't get it. And so because they don't understand it, they sexualize it. Just like with the fetish world, there's a whole lot about BDSM that is not about fucking. I mean, a whole lot. Most of it is not about fucking. Fucking is great. I love fucking, okay? Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. It's awesome. I love it. But the thing about those intimate relationships is that when people outside, they don't get them. They literally cannot understand this because they haven't had the uncomfortable feeling that they have to think beyond what they've been given. Does that make sense? You have to be uncomfortable enough to change. And some of us are uncomfortable enough to either change, and a lot, because when we're 3, we're wearing what our mom puts on us and we don't really think that way, right? Very few of us are goth by 5. But so when somebody sees something outside of that, because especially in the American culture is what I'm talking about, in the culture in North America, the U.S. especially, we sexualize it. We sexualize because we think that the only person in the world that we can be that kind of intimate with, that we can share all of our secrets with, and that we can literally snuggle with, and enjoy that person's physical closeness with, is somebody that we are fucking. We are brought up to think that you have to be fucking the person that you are feeling that close with, and we're also brought up to think that that person absolutely has to be the be-all, end-all of your life. They have to be the romantic be-all, end-all, and everything has to go into that person. And when you step outside of that, and you allow yourself to have that kind of intimacy and to freely love others and to not put expectations on that love, it scares the fuck out of the mainstream.
So. Yeah, I have had relationship with submissive that I don't have sex with at all. Like
yeah, I've had several.
And it's something that people don't understand when they first get into kink. Mm-hmm. They think that you have to do them every single time, and it's not like that. It's not like that at all.
It's not. But, and amongst DOMs, I know that the saying is that DOMs have the least amount of sex of any women. Dominant women have the least amount of sex because it's kind of the craft of being dominant and all the stuff that you have to do. It's just, there's just there's less fucking. There's more. By the time you get all the control stuff done and all the needs are met, there may or may not be having sex. And then it's interesting because the sex is not always dominant femme sex. It's just fucking sex. Sometimes it's just sex. Sex is not for people who are in the BDSM world, dominant, submissive, whatever. It's whatever. When you actually have sex, even if it's with a partner who is your submissive or your dominant, that sex itself is not always DNS sex. And it's not always B and M or whatever, bondage, domination, B and D. You know, just fill in the blanks on the letters.
Well, it doesn't have to be. For every couple, it's a different story.
Not every time, usually.
And I believe, but there's people that are 24/7 in this, and I understand that, and that's fine too. So yeah,
right.
I mean, there's both ways.
Right, and it goes where some people only have scenes once in a while. Scenes is, for those who don't know, a scene is where you have your agreed upon what is to take place. Like the submissive says, this is the stuff I am willing to do and not willing to do, and the dominant says, this is the stuff I'm willing to do and not willing to do. Generally, we call that a scene. If y'all have different words, that's cool. But there are people who just have their dominance and submission in scenes or in very, very specific things. There are some people where it will come out at meals. Like, you're allowed to eat this, 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 and this. This is some people where it's a ritual when you come into the house, but that's like kind of all it is. And then there's people who are 24/7. The submissive is a dog in the cage. It goes, it's like every bit of human emotion and sexuality, it is on a spectrum. And it will, the idea that anything about us is binary is laughable to me. There is nothing binary about human beings or any living being. Y'all can give your opinion. Sorry, I've been drinking a lot now. I've had like 5 drinks.
Well, no, I agree with you. And it was with my husband talking to him. It took a lot of conversations to get him to realize that kink did not mean sex.
Right.
Because the way that he was raised was in like Catholic schools and getting beat by nuns and shit.
Oh Jesus! So there's probably a rubber nun outfit at some point that might help him out. But yeah, kink itself is not about sex. You can mix them, and that's fine because again, spectrum. As human beings, we are all actually different and unique. We are like snowflakes, although they have found 2 snowflakes that matched. But we are all different, and we are all going to express these things different. And the idea that any single part of us is binary just doesn't even make any fucking sense. That's what makes people
we're more complex than that.
Exactly.
Yes.
And even someone who seems like they're shallow is far more complex than you think. So, just my personal opinion. Anyone? I'm going to check the chat because I've been pontificating too much.
No, I think that they agree with. I think they're in agreement with the rest of us, and that we like what you're saying.
Right. Safe and consensual.
Yeah.
Safe and consensual. I mean, if you're not doing it safe and consensual, and you're like, you don't get a safe word, fucking run away from that person. Run.
Exactly.
Back.
Yes,
Oh
please. And what I do is a power exchange contract. Every time I have a submissive, I do a power exchange contract so I know the boundaries that people have in regards to our relationship or new starting relationship, for that matter.
Right.
And you get their soft limits and their hard limits and all that. So it helps you a lot. And also every time you're doing a scene, you have to explain to them, what we're doing right now and stuff like that. And if you have a partner who is into BDSM and you haven't trained that partner yet, then explain to them every single time. But if you have training, I mean, if they had training before, or just go through with them so you have something to agree upon,
Right.
And it's not like random, weird, crazy stuff happening, because people tend to called the safe word for pretty much anything. And for people that think that the dom has the the majority of the control, that's not the case. Whoever has been in a DS relationship before knows that the submissive is the one who calls the safe word. And if she does, or they do, or he does, you're pretty much fucked.
Well, you stop. You stop.
You
You
have to
stop.
stop.
It's an equal
You have to
exchange.
stop.
It's an
And
equal
if
exchange and agreed upon.
they don't stop, just run away from that relationship because
Yes.
there's nothing good in there.
They don't respect
For you.
you. If your dom doesn't respect you, or your sub doesn't respect you, or your switch, your partner, whatever, doesn't respect you, get the fuck away from them. But the thing is the thing I love about BDSM relationships, DNS relationships more specifically, is that there has to be discussion about what's agreed upon. You agree upon this shit before you ever start doing it. And I wish we would see that in more other relationships. You see that frequently in poly relationships. And that's how I think that we should do. Define the parameters of your relationship as best as you can, and then honor that. And then discuss it again later, because in a BDSM, a DNS relationship especially, you can discuss that later. It's like sometimes you're doing something and you think it's all cool, and then the sub's like, yeah, that does not make me feel submissive. It just pisses me off. And you're like, okay, that's not working. Or they're like, hey, could you try doing this? And to be able to hear the other person, to really be able to hear them, and to be able to approach all of these things with love is very important. And it's not easy, because we all want what we want. We all have our opinions and all that kind of stuff. So, But again, in the goth world, with fetish, I swear it's more fashion show fetish stuff. I know that sounds terrible, but that's most of what I see is like, fashion show, it's fetish, fuck. Or military. What the fuck is that even?
A military fashion show?
Fashion
I'm
show.
not sure.
Dude,
Oh
I'm like,
my god.
I don't
We
go
said
to
that at the
goth
same
nights frequently because they have some motherfucking
Barf.
theme.
Wasn't that a burned out song?
I think I heard you spin it once.
What song?
Oh shit, shut up. Shut up.
Military fashion show by N1.
Someone came up to me and said,
Oh,
we
no,
just
I
came-
told you we all were going to leave when you did. And you know what we did?
I know.
We
But
left.
I had to because I'm a DJ, you know.
Hey,
I'm a
never
that was
DJ.
so
I don't
request.
see shit.
I
would
used
just
to
left
like
because
that
somebody told
song.
me to.
Until they played it 5 million times.
Who's N1? N1? Military?
And one.
What? Okay, military fashion show?
Yeah.
I missed the
Yeah,
90s,
that's-
y'all. Is that
that's
from the
it.
90s?
2000s.
Jesus. I missed,
2000, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
okay, I missed a lot.
Military theme is pretty much always German military theme. Yeah.
That seems very Combi Christ to me.
Or Borf.
That's why my people left me there spinning.
They all left you. They
The
ditched
Goths
you.
abandoned you and went outside.
I'll listen to anything by N1 except for military fashion show at this point.
What the fuck is
You see?
N1?
You see?
Is that a band?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a group. Yeah.
What is
Don't
what is
know
that
I'm
song
100.
that goes, Daddy says that I'm a good boy?
Oh, Jesus.
Ugh.
What's that and one song?
Oh, I know which one.
We're always doing as I'm told.
I don't want to talk about that group anymore. So
N-
let's
N1.
move on.
They're called N1. I don't even know what that
N1,
is.
yeah. N1.
And one.
A and
That's
D.
it.
A-N-D.
I'm just.
That's
gonna-
okay.
Yeah,
Look it up
yeah.
on your own time. You'll
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
Fine.
You know what, y'all? I just bought my very first Switchblade Symphony, and my second.
What?
Faith
Please
in
don't
the
get.
Moose
Do not get Ian
Muse.
started. Do not get Ian started.
What?
We're moving on. We're moving the topic on before Ian can get into anything.
I don't know the difference.
You just said his trigger word.
I
You just said his like happy brain trigger word, and we need to gloss over this. Look at him; he's turning red.
I listen to. I have a friend who's cluing me in with the '90s stuff, and
damn it! No, move on.
I'm so sorry. Long Night is one of my favorites. I really like the 2010 and later gothic rock.
I'll send you some stuff, Michelle.
How about getting whipped? That's cool. I actually met someone who makes whips, and to see the skill it takes to use a whip, a short whip, those are really nice. It's always weird to see a whip in a dungeon because they're so dangerous. Because, like, you could pretty much take out someone's kidney with a whip. And please send me stuff, Ian. We're moving on, and we're going beyond that, but I would love to hear things like that. I don't like Strawberry Switchblade very much, just so you know. Or the Shroud.
Yeah.
But, yeah, watching someone with a whip, I'm like...
So, talking about that, Adam Ant has a song called Whip in My Valise. So I would say...
That's what would
BDSM.
fit in my valise.
When I was a kid, I went to a garage sale with my dad, and there was a whip at the garage sale, and I really, really wanted it. And he was like, "No, no, it was a really nice leather whip."
Oh, that's.
And my dad said no, and I didn't understand, and until I was an adult, why he said no.
Yeah, nice whips, y'all. As far as equipment goes with BDSM, nice whips are on the higher end because you can get those piece of shit whips that will just like break. They're just for sound. A lot of times whips are just for sound unless you're very, very, very fucking skilled. But to get a nice whip that makes a pretty good, easy crack every time you whooshah it, those are expensive. Those are usually $300 and up. And they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. And as I said, I went and met a whip maker because a friend of mine was buying a whip. She was buying something called a Chocolate Kiss, which was a short, like, 5-foot whip total. I've seen someone use like a 12-foot whip on someone before. I don't even know what that person was wearing to be able to see that shit and not flay someone alive. But a finely made whip, that is a thing of beauty. They are absolutely gorgeous.
Caroline, I have a question.
Yes.
Since you're in the fetish and all that, have you ever had a relationship, a DS relationship at all?
Not like that's not non-sexual. That I haven't. I've only had it like just in the bedroom type of thing. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm the odd one out because I'm the only one that, like, I have a DS relationship that's non-sexual.
No, I've had them non-sexual. I've had them non-sexual.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Yeah, I have a non-sexual too.
Yeah, I've enjoyed meet and beat many times. I've tried all sorts of weird shit.
That's definitely something I'm interested in.
Well, what's something you're
a non-sexual relationship?
Yeah.
Aside from your husband?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a non-sexual relationship, you can find there are tons of those because a lot of times people will be in a relationship with whoever their spouse is or whoever their significant other that is vanilla and the other person is not interested. And so there are a lot of people who will do non-sexual. I call it meet and beat.
Right, and people also pay for these things Pro Dome.
Yeah.
Pro Dome and Dominatrix and stuff like that. They pay for these things, even if they have a vanilla relationship, which is totally fine. I mean, as long as the other side knows what's going on, that's fine.
That's one of my requirements is that everybody knows what's going on. But there are a lot of people who are in the scene, visiting dungeons or whatever, and possibly even when you go to a goth fetish show, that their spouse not only cannot deal with it, but could not deal with them delving into what they consider the dark side. And so they have non-sexual relationships where they just get, I call it smacked around for a while, but that's just me joking, where they get sometimes spanking, or as I've actually had someone say, "Thank you for giving me what I deserve," where I just spank I would never do that. That's naughty. But spank the ever-loving fuck out of someone until they have bruises and red and all sorts of shit. But sometimes the thing is that it can be a highly sexual relationship, but it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. It's almost 50-50 when you go out to the dungeons and in the real world of the kink world, because sometimes you have a fully functioning, very loving and adult partnership style relationship, but there's just not anywhere for that. We'll just call it kink for now, because one person is not interested. But if that person is able to allow the other person in a relationship who needs that kind of thing, because a lot of people they get a catharsis from DNS or BDSM, masochism, whatever, that you can't get anywhere else. You just can't get that shit anywhere else. Honestly, you can't. But a lot of times people's partners will be okay with them expressing that because that partner can't do it for them. But I personally prefer honesty on all sides. Like, everybody knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I have been a party to people where everybody did not know everything. And it kept the person with that main significant other to be able to express some of this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm reading it. I'm reading the thing.
I'm reading about paddles and
Yeah,
crops.
I'm reading.
I know, I was like, paddles? Actually,
Crops.
I actually have a paddle. I painted and call it Pansy. I like to call my wooden implements.
Sluggers.
Yeah, wooden
plenty
spoons
stuff.
are my favorite, my absolute favorite. Or vampire gloves are good too. I don't have one though. I have to get closer. I had a lot of liquor. Y'all don't see when I make this, but my mixer is a White Claw, and then I put like 4 shots of vodka in it. I mean, this is not small.
Holy shit.
And it was all good.
That was fun when we started.
Yeah, you know, I told you I was exploring my alcoholism during this pandemic. I just got bored with drinking for a while, so you know, whatever. But I'm a big fan of Deep Eddy. Yeah, that's the problem I was running into. The guy I dated for a year was not honest. Right. I think the thing with having truly, deeply intimate, and when I say intimate, I mean really close, very close relationships, is honesty. If you can find people who can understand and not be afraid of your honesty, because people are very afraid of honesty. And so some of those of us who are fringe people, I guess, have some issues because when you're honest with someone, they run away. Personally, if somebody says like 3 conversations in, they want to take a dump on me, it's over. You know, but honesty, they know it's over before they try it. I like floggers over paddles. Same thing, Khaled. I prefer, I am what do you call it, essentialist? I'm the person that, you know, when you walk down a hallway and you can feel both walls at the same time? I'm the person that drags my hands down the walls. Does anyone else get into bed without your socks on and rub your feet all over the sheets and you're like, ah?
Yes.
God, I love that. I have very soft carpet in my bedroom. I just had it replaced. And I love walking in there barefoot. I'm like, ah.
Wait, how do we start talking about, Delilah, butt plugs. Okay.
Wait, butt plugs. Is Mixter the Count still here? Mixter? Is that how you say it? Did I get it right?
Dr. Mixter the Count.
Mixter? Dr. Mixter the Count? People, yeah. Well, when people are afraid of what you're doing, sometimes you can kind of ease them into it. But if they can enjoy an honest love relationship, because a lot of people can't enjoy that, we're not raised to do that. We're raised to consume. In the U.S., we're raised to consume. Yeah. To try to have a bigger house, to have the most adequate, high achievement children, to have like the best breed of dogs. It's bullshit. Doesn't mean anything. I will not do anal. Hey, just tell someone you're like, my butt's off limits. You can smack my butt, but you can't penetrate it. Cute butt plugs. That's a cute. The only cute butt plug I think I've ever seen is a horsetail. I love it when somebody, I'm like, holy shit, they got a horsetail. That's a butt plug. Has anyone else ever seen that?
YouTube is going to advertise this to children, right?
Yeah, they've got rabbit tails. They've got all sorts of little furry implants.
Yeah,
that you
any animal you could possibly want.
Furry things that you can have taken out of your ass.
Bad dragon toys.
What about them? They're wild.
Those are crazy toys.
What is it?
Bad dragon?
Yeah.
Do I need to look that up right now?
Yes.
Yes.
They're huge.
They're weird.
They can get pretty big.
I've seen the arm. Frequently seen the arm. It comes in red, black, and white.
I think Malik has a little bad dragon penis in his car.
In their
car. Excuse me, that's my problem. I put it in their bat.
I wonder where they got it from.
Okay. Tell the whole story. Don't say that just like that.
Okay.
You can tell it.
Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my god, what the fuck
I don't know how you call the mirror. I don't know how you call the mirror on your
rear
car.
view mirror?
Yeah, that. Well, I have a bat there hanging, right?
Demon dick.
And it has its mouth open. So
wait, what?
As he told, it was a good idea to put a thing,
a tiny penis.
Yeah, in his mouth.
Wait, who's? Well, I have two tiny penises. Okay, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm messing around with the websites and the bad dragon, and I'm just fucking shit up. Okay, so
Ian, I had to leave it in the bat mouth. It's a bat deep throating cock. Yes, and it's in the bat's mouth, all the way deep, and it's amazing.
Okay.
Like down to the balls.
There's going to be a few seconds with a lot of big, huge dildos that are quite pointy.
I'm seeing this. Like, you are just letting everyone on the stream see that.
Well, I mean, I wanted to share it with everybody. It's not like we're talking about stuff that 12-year-olds should really listen to. We'll just give them ideas about how... We just give 12-year-olds ideas about how everyone matters and that you should be very honest. Oh, my God.
The best part is you can customize them.
But they're not doing custom stuff right now.
Yeah, you can.
Right now they're not because of the pandemic.
The COVID.
We just ordered more toy cleaner.
What did you order?
Toy cleaner.
Oh, I thought you said something wiener. I was like, what?
Oh.
We ordered a toy cleaner.
Their toy cleaner is really good.
Really? That toy cleaner might work instead of hand sanitizer right now for some people.
It might.
Because toys, they need to be clean. You should wash them before and after.
Always.
The teeny weeny. What? Wait, what?
The teeny weenie's what's in the bat mouth.
The teeny weenies, bat dragon.
She gave me the teeny weenie.
But I have a little marble blue and orange weenie. I actually
Did we give that to you?
Yes, but you're not the first person to give me a tiny weenie. I have the other little one that has a little face on it. Have y'all ever seen that one? It's a weird little soft weenie with a face.
Oh, Mouse has one of those and it jiggles.
Yeah, it's really cute. But the texture is really
weird. And it has a little butt.
Yes, it does.
It has a little butt.
But it freaks me out. The texture's weird. The texture's fucked up. It is fucked up.
Yeah. It's not something you want to put in your mouth.
I will say, in fetish clubs, fetish scene, wherever they are, that's one thing you don't see a lot of is dildos. I'm in Texas, though, so having fun is illegal.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to Norway and Germany, where having fun is encouraged.
I like watching stuff that's in Germany. Well, I've been to Amsterdam, so I've seen like all the red light windows and shit like that. But it's really interesting to me. I'm like, they walk in and 3 feet later, you're naked. What the fuck, man? Because it's just so taboo here.
My favorite coffee cup that I have is one that I got in Amsterdam at the airport, and it's 2 demon girls smoking joints completely naked.
Yes, that's so...
I got it at the airport.
Yeah. Yeah, that's people in other countries when they talk to us in the US, they worry about offending us with like everything they say. Because we are seen as conservative. There are certain bands that can't come here because they're considered too inflammatory or whatever, y'all. And it's been like that for 50 years. It's ridiculous. We are considered conservatives, similar to a Muslim country.
It's our Puritan background, though. It's our puritanical heritage.
Yeah, so they could come here and persecute everybody else.
Heritage makes it good, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Puritans, they were awesome. They were the best people ever. They didn't burn people for eating moldy bread at all.
No.
They didn't actually. They hung them.
Good.
Wow.
But Tish.
I know. I'm like, wait, penis pasta. I've had penis pasta before. I had in the world of pagan. It's really it goes through waves. It would be a real big deal. Some vendor would have the penis shaped crystals like amethyst and quartz and what am I thinking? Aquamarine, like carved dick necklaces, and everybody wearing a dick necklace the next day. Woohoo!
So I guess I have to ask Caroline, how open is Norway as far as sexuality? Is it pretty openly discussed, or is it fairly a taboo topic over there?
Oh, it's very open. Like, you can even read about sex advice in newspapers. It's very normal.
That's the way it should be everywhere.
That's true. But here, it would be, if somebody actually wrote that and the newspaper was actually brave enough to put it out there, there'd be 400 people protesting it.
Yeah,
we have districts in Michigan protesting social distancing right now. So we have a lot of ignorance here. We have willful ignorance. But yeah,
it's like work to be that ignorant.
We're so extremely uptight about sex that we sexualize everything. And it's because we're so uptight. So going to Europe, I remember when I went to Amsterdam, I was shocked by the stuff that you would see. I was absolutely shocked. And I'm considered extreme liberal in the US. And I'm like, oh my God, they have this stuff in a church? And then I realized, I was like, yeah, I guess so. But it was like images of rape, and also it was an art show, and it was really nicely done. But it was images of rape, and that was the one that got me because it was pretty graphic. And I was like, holy shit, this is in church. Udekerk, the oldest church in Amsterdam at the time. And I had a hard time, and it was really good for me because it opened my mind and let me know that as a very open-minded American, I was still not truly open-minded.
When we were in Australia, during primetime TV, so 8 o'clock family hour, they had commercials for, like, it was a deodorant for your testicles, but it was like, they turned it into like almost like a parody, but it was a funny commercial, but it was on 8 o'clock prime time. They're openly talking about deodorant for balls.
Yep. Yeah, for an American.
I have photos of the television when we were in Germany last year for 2 weeks. It just like all the random like phone sex ads on the TV, and I was like, "This is really cool."
Yeah, I saw
tits everywhere.
I saw a commercial.
Do you have any like actual nudity in your TV shows and movies?
On Game of Thrones, yeah. I mean, yes.
It has to. You have to pay for it basically through like a subscription service if you get it that way.
Okay.
We consider a lot of things pornography that other places don't, I think.
Not so much with Norwegian, but I've noticed more Swedish. Like, it could be any show. If people are having sex or people are just naked, you will see dick. You will see boobs. It's
you don't see that.
We don't really see dick in our TV. You see boobs sometimes.
On movies, and they're rated R, 17 and above, I think, unaccompanied by an adult. It is... When I say it's conservative, it is. I mean it. It is very conservative here. So seeing commercials when I was in Amsterdam in 2000, it was mind-blowing. I'm watching the Teletubbies, and during the Teletubbies, they have this commercial where people come home. And I remember the parents came home and they were naked, and the children were making out on the couch, but they put on their jeans because they loved their Levi's so much. It was a Levi's commercial of all things. And they came home and everybody was naked. When they show soap, they show naked people taking a shower because that's how you would use soap when you're in a shower is naked. Otherwise, you don't put your clothes on in a shower. And it makes perfect sense, but here every fucking thing is taboo. It is.
Caroline, didn't you notice that when you lived in Orlando?
I didn't really watch a lot of stuff when I was there. Like, I had Netflix, but it's not something I really thought about. I thought about it when I watched this Swedish show called Gösta. I wanted to check it out because I noticed in an ad that the theme song is Kailan Miklas Sinir.
Oh.
They have a TV deal already?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The official theme song for that TV show is their song. So I checked that out, and literally, like, 4 seconds in, dick. Because the guy was taking a shower.
Yeah, I was watching a Portuguese show, and they had something called Blood, and it was all about menstrual blood and women with their menstrual cycle. That's
just the devil coming out of us.
Yeah, you would never see that in the U.S. You wouldn't even see it when they do that thing.
No, blood is blue in the commercials.
Yeah, but they're showing pubic hair and all sorts of stuff, and I'm just like,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like the kind of one of the brands for tampons and what's it called, sanitary pads here. They're having kind of like this campaign nowadays, which is like love your vulva. And it's very, like, they don't actually show a real vulva, but lots of stuff that looks similar to it, and women like holding a mirror between their legs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be
that kind of freaked people out here. But I loved it.
Just the word.
That's the way it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just your body, and your body's not really dirty. We've made it in the U.S. We've made your body very dirty. Everything about it. If your body's not absolutely perfect, it's a piece of shit. Anything about your body that has a function. We don't talk about menses here. We don't talk about poop here. We don't pass gas in public. We don't cut a stinky. We don't do any of that thing. We are in such fear of having any bodily emanations or smells, no matter, even if it's a good smell, that it's insane. The amount of deodorants and bullshit we have here is ridiculous. So your vulva commercial here would be pornography, and it would make half a second in before it'd be protested, pulled off the air, and it would wind up being all across the news.
And the television station subject of multiple lawsuits.
So the show Big Mouth on Netflix. They show
that's animated. That's different.
But that's great. That's great.
Animated.
I love that show. I love that show.
Awesome.
Yeah, Big Mouth is about a kid who's coming of age, and he has all sorts of unexpected erections. Really, is what's happening a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something that everybody goes through that. Boys and girls both go through that on some level, maybe different.
Exactly.
But if it's animated and it's on Netflix, and it's expected to be oh so naughty, and you pay for the service, yes, you can see stuff like that. But no, the word vulva on a regular TV commercial, come on, y'all. The TV station would catch on fire.
No, vulva's a dirty word.
The evangelicals would go crazy.
Isn't that a car?
Well, vulva implies that it's a whole thing rather than just something that pushes out babies and takes a whiz.
What?
That is not allowed. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Women don't like sex. It's our duty.
Oh my god. Also, it irks me when people call the vagina vulva.
That's not
no, wait, the other way around.
Yes, the vulva vagina, yes.
Well,
yeah, that whole thing.
Here, they don't know the difference.
My vagina.
Everything below the waist for a woman
stick,
in the U.S. is a
razor
vagina.
Up.
Shaving your vagina must be very, very fucking hard.
Wait, no, Malik.
And besides, it doesn't have any follicles, so
Malik, you have
hair up there. Get that checked.
You have to say vagina like you did that one night, Malik.
Vagina.
Vagina.
Vagina. Everybody loved it. But that's how you say it in Spanish. That's how you say it
We
in
love
Spanish.
it, and that's partly because you were
Vagina.
yelling it in a restaurant at like
Vulva
3 in the
vagina.
morning. You were yelling, "I love
What, was it IHOP?
No one cares. No one cares.
No,
If it was
some
IHOP
shitty
or-
sports bar.
Oh, I'm glad you lived through it. But if it's IHOP or Denny's, it doesn't count. Waffle
He's
House,
just playing
that
with his
shit doesn't
dicks.
count. Waffle House waiting
How
for
many
an hour
dicks
to
that
get
got
there.
Ian.
I had a bag of teeny weenies thrown at me.
Yeah, I have one of those teeny weenies, but mine doesn't. Mine's orange and turquoise.
So if anybody needs teeny weenies,
Do you keep teeny weenies on hand all the time?
my wife does apparently.
Teeny weenies and silly bands. Life
Yes.
necessities. Yeah, so y'all, I've been given two small penises. And one is named Mr. Pee-Pee, but the teeny weenie doesn't have a name yet.
We have to name it.
Beauregard.
Beauregard.
I would name it for Skinnicus.
Oh, that's cute, but the other one's Mr. Pee-Pee. So I have to over cutify stuff because
I had to
way
approve
more
that
letters.
comment, Malik.
Huh?
I had to approve that comment. You are too dirty for YouTube.
Asked about me liking vaginas. How dare you?
What? Wait a
It
minute.
got caught in
Vaginas
the
are-
profanity filter.
Aren't we all complaining on how backward our country is?
Oh my god,
And
you
now-
would not believe what gets caught
now
in the
you're like,
profanity filter.
Woo, woo.
Anal gets
Vaginas
caught.
are
Ass
Malik
gets
says
caught.
vagina.
Gets caught. Vagina
Malik
gets
says
caught.
vagina.
Vaginas are
No,
the
I'm
devil's
saying-
orifice. That should not
No.
be.
Malik, you cannot see it. It got caught in the profanity filter. Michelle and I
Okay,
have
I'm
been
gonna
approving
try
comments all
writing
evening.
vulva.
What?
Candy brandy. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel good about it though.
Nope, vulva was okay. Try typing anal.
Anal, yes.
Oh, somebody says, I don't know why you're acting like we live in Saudi Arabia. We are not that conservative. Are you in the
I'm
north?
sorry, anal got flagged.
Viva la burba, yes.
There you
Anal.
go.
Viva.
Yo, seriously.
Viva. Salud.
Anal got caught.
I think
Yeah, it
that's
got caught
actually
in
the name
profanity
of the
filter.
whole vulva ads. I think they're called Viva la Vulva. So if anyone wants to check that out on YouTube, they're probably there.
Ian vagina just got caught in our profanity filter.
Oh my God, vaginas are self-cleaning. How could they possibly be? Okay, they can be dirty.
Because our chat is also self-clean.
Actually, they're not dirty at all.
They are if you
Okay,
touch them
how
and
about-
mess them
They
up.
shouldn't be.
They're self-cleaning.
They self-clean. Yeah, they
Okay.
do self-clean.
Did penis go
Got
through?
caught. No, it just did because I approved it.
Ah,
Dr. Mixed with Account, half of their comments I have to approve.
Okay, poop goes through. That's not
My
fair.
goodness. How can people? Oh, how can they do this to us?
Because
Can we
YouTube-
turn
Oh
this
my-
off? I
butt
want to
crack
turn the
gets through
profanity
too. Anal
filter off.
cavity doesn't get through because they're anal. Okay, y'all.
You know,
Cock got caught.
Cock is totally caught because even though cock is a chicken, so YouTube is trying to be child friendly. YouTube wants money and children equal money.
Wiener's okay.
People pay
Clitoris
shitloads
is
of
fine.
money to have stuff easy.
Dick
to
is not fine.
You guys are calling me.
Pussy is not
Yes.
fine.
yes,
Okay.
free the clitoris.
Dick is fine.
Yes.
Testicle is fine. We're doing this
Yes.
for science.
all right. I hate
Vulva
using
is
this
Amen.
fine.
but
Clit is not fine.
Clit
I hate this
Vulva is
word,
okay.
but
Wait, did
Uh-oh,
I just
you.
say cunt nugget?
At
Can't.
least it can't.
Can't nugget. Who wrote can't nugget? Oh my God, I am the clit commander. I am the clit commander.
Do you have a specific word for the lips in English?
Labia?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
try that.
That one's
Yeah.
fine.
They,
That's
Okay.
fine.
they,
Yeah,
both,
your
put
outer
both.
labia are
Minora
what you say.
and
Vagina, not so much.
Majora and Minora.
All right, so shit just got flagged.
Shit.
Holy
Approved.
crap. Wow,
Oh no, it's aggressive.
This whole video is flagged. Hey, I
Shart is
fixed
okay.
it.
Yes.
Shart is fine. What else is
Shart.
there? Butt crack?
Are
Wait,
we
no,
really,
I think I did
are
butt
we
crack.
really going to that level that we're testing YouTube's limits of like what naughty words we could use?
What body parts doesn't it like?
Testicles is
Oh
fine.
my god.
I don't think it'll flag us.
What body parts?
Nipple
does it
clips
like?
is
not
fine.
Okay, let's try.
No,
Hairy
Michelle,
toe.
you're typing as Obscura Undead. It might be okay because you're typing it as the admin account.
Oh, shit,
Fuck,
that's
it's not
right.
fine. Okay, someone type in nipple clips.
Let me type in fuck as. Oh, whoops. You're right.
Nipple clips
Right.
is fine.
Nipple clips is fine.
Scrotum is fine.
Put
Titty
titties.
is not fine.
Oh, titty didn't
Wait,
work.
scrotum is okay, but vagina is not?
Yes.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What about ball sack?
Oh, ball sack's good.
Ball
What
sack.
about pee hole?
Okay. I think we should go now because this is getting way.
Butt crack? Camel toe? Moose knuckle?
These are fine.
Titty work?
Areola,
Jeez.
fine.
Areola.
Nipple clips, fine. Clam,
What
fine.
about boobs?
How did
Patriarchy,
the
how did
patriarchy
that get through?
Boobs.
Breast
Cum
is
swallowing. Let's see.
Cum,
It might not like
cum
cum.
dumpster.
God.
I mean, that was possible. It's, yeah, urethra. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Okay.
Butthole. Butthole just
Oh,
Butthole is not
snatch.
fine.
I love the word snatch.
Oh, Snatch made it. Snatch made it, y'all. How about bearded clam?
That one made it.
Fucking
Wow.
A. Bearded clam. Oh, sure enough, it did. Merkin? It's M-I-R.
Merca.
M-I-R-K-I-N. Twat rag. Oh, twat. Does twat get
Oh my.
Oh, does twat get banned? Someone type twat,
Kitty cat.
please and thank you.
Pussy
Pussy willow
Twat.
was
Twat
not
gets banned.
approved.
Twat got
Twat
banned.
was not approved.
Gaping axe wound, but I think that would get through because of what it is.
We just got out of the subject, so.
Golden shower.
There's people into that fetish.
Oh,
There's
yeah?
a lot of people into that fetish. That's
Who?
pretty common one.
Yes.
Motherfuckers I've dated before.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Pussy.
Whatever.
Oh, pussy with the asterisk
I
stop
don't care.
block.
Don't judge me.
There's no judgment. There is no judgment here.
You know what? Golden
This is a
showers.
free forum.
Piss when it comes out of your body is not infected unless you have a problem. It's generally pretty sterile. It's not going to hurt you. So I'm just like, who cares? Whatever.
Yep.
There's nothing scary about it. Poop is gross, though. What is that? Ramrod. Wang. Well, there used to be a company when I was 12 years old. Wang was a computer company when I was a kid. Do you know how hard it is to ride your bike past the Wang office every day when you're 12? Wang. What is
It's
that?
like the Austin Powers movie where they have the whole scene where they keep showing like a phallic shaped missile and they pan to all these people using every word for the word penis that you could think of. Johnson, Wang,
Yes, I love that.
Shaft.
It's stupid humor, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Is that where we're at
Like
now?
Schlong.
Are we children?
Oh, did anyone try Schlong?
Kids.
Try Schlong. Let's do
Oh,
some
Squirt was fine. Tatas was fine. Pile Drive was fine.
Yiddish.
Pile driver.
Schlong work. Putz. That's also a dick.
Okay.
Pud.
Okay,
It's like 11 o'clock and
I
we
gotta
are
go.
way off
Oh
track.
shit! Okay, yeah, we're way
Sorry.
off track. But again, it's
Yeah.
a fun subject, and our whole point here is to have subjects that are titillating.
We laughed.
As long
Everyone
as we can
laughed.
talk about
And we're laughing.
weird shit.
I gotta go clean this shit off my face and go to bed.
Okay, that is a
Wait.
weird way to say that right now, considering the conversation that's happening in the chat.
Due to the context. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta work tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I have to work tomorrow. I slept through my alarm last night, y'all. I woke up 10 minutes after I was supposed to be working. Luckily, I could work, brush teeth, feed dogs, work. But, oops. Jizz. Jizz works, cream pie, doggy
God
stuff.
damn it! Stop that.
Cream
Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you
That's
everyone for joining us. Caroline, thanks for staying up to the wee hours of Norwegian morning for
5 a.m. or
Love
whatever
you.
it is, a million o'clock in the morning. All
Oh,
right,
yeah,
so
you have-
5 now.
Thank you so much, Karen. It was nice to meet you.
You too.
yes, thanks
And
for
you
coming
too,
to
Ian.
talk to us
Yeah,
while we
it's
get
good.
way off track.
And say hi to Simon for us all.
I think he's watching this in the other room, actually.
Oh my god!
He's like, ooh, now I have ideas.
And I know that I have to call him Simon because I am an American.
I don't get it.
His name is pronounced Seaman.
Steven?
Oh, Seaman?
Yeah.
Easy for me. Easy. That's like Spanish.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I
for
would
those of
pronounce
us
it as a
born
E.
and bred with American English, we can't say it without giggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either dudes and
So-
boats who mean jizz or just jizz.
So thank you everyone for joining us. We hope that you will be back next week for whatever bullshit topic we pick.
Well, next week I think we're doing aesthetic. I'm not sure though.
I think next week is aesthetic.
But we could change
I
our
don't know.
mind.
Did we ever get? Well, we will figure it out last second
This
as always.
is, y'all, this is chaos. The whole thing of this live stream is not to have interview questions that every other fucking person in the whole goddamn world has and you're bored to death with. You read 50 articles and books. It's about chaos. It's about just talking about shit. Right, Azzy?
Hey, huh? Yeah, I mean,
And
Obscura
having
Undead
fun.
is synonymous with chaos.
Yeah.
I just want to laugh.
Right. We're just discussing this. The whole idea is to discuss this like friends would discuss shit.
Because we're all
Alright.
friends. Okay, good night.
Later.
Bye. Fuck off.
Everybody, love you all. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for showing. Hey, thanks for watching.